It's 9:01. I'd like to call the Board of Supervisors meeting in order. First thing, invocation. Mr. Bradford, would you give us the invocation?
Let us stand. Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you, O God, for this morning, for allowing us to assemble once again. And Father, we just carefully give your name all honor, praise, and glory. And Father, we just ask, oh God, you continue to be with our elected officials. Father, continue to give them strength and wisdom from on high to rule and abide by your ways to lead your people. Father, we pray for this community. We pray for this city, for this county, for this state, and the United States of America. And Father, we just ask, oh God, you continue to bless our first responders, our doctors, our teachers, and everyone that's on the sound of my voice. And Father, we just ask, oh God, that you continue to allow Adams County to be a beacon, oh God, to this state, oh God. And Father, we just thank you right now for what you're going to do and what all that you plan on doing in this great community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Time to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Can I get a motion to approval of the January minutes? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Middleton and properly second by Supervisor Wilson. We ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimously. All right, we're down to the approval of the dockets. Can I get a motion to approve the docket?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins.
Second.
Been properly second by Supervisor Middleton. Any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, I'm voting against, claim number 1355, the date is 1/11/23.
All right. Supervisor Bridge voting against claim 1355. Are we ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Approval of the monthly financial report, Sheriff's Office. Can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson.
Second.
Been properly seconded by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? There be no discussion. All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimously. Chancery Clerk, approval of the Chancery Clerk report. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson,
Second.
properly seconded by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried. Are there any special presentation? Special presentation.
Okay, I didn't know it was a special presentation.
Wait a minute. What's the name?
Bert Carson.
No, you own,
Okay, that's what I thought.
I thought maybe Brad, you know.
Oh, yeah. His is more like a presentation.
Huh?
I think his is more like a
Brad.
presentation. Okay, that's one.
You want to go do that?
Okay.
We can, yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to make a presentation to one of our volunteers, Billy Humphreys, and again, the Adams County Volunteers, September 2014, as support staff by 2016. She is administrative assistant at Liberty Road Volunteer Fire Department in 2017. She also began administrative assistant to the fire coordinator, where she began submitting all reports to the state fire marshal's office. The job continued to this time. In 2016, she also became numerous reserves to help our county emergency management needs in 2018. She successfully completed the emergency medical responder course in 2019. Billy was promoted to assistant chief of Liberty Road Volunteer Fire Department, first female to hold this position in Adams County. She continues to go out and attend the community events and educate in fire safety. And also in 2019, Billy began becoming more involved in emergency operations, working emergency operations center when needed, documentation in detail, doing emergency events, exercise, and attending classes to expand the knowledge. Billy took pretty much a lot of courses. And she ain't saying it to you. Some of the courses that she took with FEMA was ICS 100, 200, IS 235, and those dealing with the incident command classes. And she did, help out with our Grand Gulf exercise. And as far as the volunteer, she's first female level 1 volunteer. Also volunteer driver op. She's first female for that also, and we'll be participating in level 2, and she will be the first to do the level 2 also. So Billy's a hard worker. Whenever we need her, she's there. And all the guys, they support her on everything we do for the city and also the volunteers. So that being said, we're gonna give her the title as chief out there at Liberty Road Volunteer Station. And here's a certificate of installation of Billy Humphreys on behalf of Adams County Volunteer Fire Coordinator Darrell W. Smith and District 3 Supervisor Angela G. Hutchins. Having been certified, trained as volunteer firefighter 1, drive operator within Adams County Fire Services, you have excelled in numerous leadership positions. Being a dedicated volunteer to this department, county, and state, it is a great pleasure to install you as the Liberty Road Volunteer Fire Department Chief, Liberty Road 1. On this date, February 6, 2023, that's Darrell Smith, Robert Bradford, and Angela Hutchins.
Let's come up here. And let me say this, I would be remiss if I didn't have something to say about her, because every time I call her, she's always there. Every event, she's coming. No matter what she's doing, she's gonna put down what she's doing, and she's gonna be there. She's there, she was there doing all the COVID events and everything that went on. I couldn't be more proud of her. She was an instrumental too. Also, you all remember her coming in here about the gear, that they needed this firefighter gear. And she was an instrumental in getting that. She came to me and she said, this is what we need. And when I saw her here, I knew that's what we need, because she's a good example for this community. And I really appreciate you for everything you do. So, Liberty Road.
Okay. Dr. Camp? Might have opening, man, after this meeting.
One, two, three. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, man, get back to work.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ms. Humphrey. We appreciate your efforts, and we see your efforts, and we wish we had more like you. Like Supervisor Hutchins said, we see you around. You came in and you advocated for the uniforms and stuff like that, and we just really appreciate your service. Any other board members have anything you'd like to say?
She knows how I feel.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Mr. Brent Carson, Infrastructure Finance.
Good morning. Good morning. So I met with the sheriff, I guess, a few weeks ago, and he was talking about, needing a new jail. Met with Supervisor Hutchinson, and we were just, talking about it. And so, who we are is we're sustainability partners. We're a very unique type of funding. We're probably the only company in the entire United States that do what we do. So what we'll do is we will, whatever infrastructure needs you have, for right now we'll call it a widget. We'll buy your widget, we'll install your widget, we will maintain, repair, replace it, and keep it forever young, keep it forever improving, and you will pay a monthly usage fee, is the way we do it. We will take whatever that infrastructure is, we'll stretch it out over the useful life, whether that could be, 10 years, 40 years, we'll figure it out, and we'll come up and you pay a monthly usage fee that stays the same. And the difference with us is we're here being your partner. So we're not going anywhere. As something breaks, as something needs replacing, we're deploying additional money to take care of it. You're still paying the same usage fee. So that's how we're a little bit different. We can keep you, keep you in your budget, that kind of deal. A lot of times we found out that by getting something more, a newer item, being more efficient, or maybe it's making you more revenue and that kind of thing. We have several instances where going through our program, the city, the hospital, the school, whatever it may be, they're actually making money off of it. So they're making more revenue than what they're paying us each month. And we don't charge until 30 days after whatever this item is in place. So therefore, you're making money in month number one. You're in the black in month number one. Here's what's also unusual, we're 30 days, month-to-month contracts. So any given 30 days, you can say, hey, we got some grant money in, we want to get out, we don't want to deal with you anymore, or whatever it may be. We're always there, so we're very easy in, very easy out. We're able to deploy cash in 30 to 60 days, so you're not waiting any time at all. We have people in place that will be ready to move and go with whatever your project may be. The other thing we're kind of different is we're not trying to take money out of the community, we're trying to put money into the community. So let's say we do an HVAC for you, and you're using Joe HVAC down the road. You're happy with him, always liked it, whatever. We don't have a crew that we send out to repair. We're the money, we pay for it. So we'll hire Joe, and we'll pay him to come fix that HVAC. So that's how we're a little bit different from everybody. So basically, like I said, my product is money. We don't sell any item. We work with you on, maybe there's people you want to work with like that, or certain items. So we don't mark up any infrastructure prices, we don't mark up any services. Everything we do is, all out on QuickBooks Cloud for you to look at. And that's basically kind of it in a nutshell. What Nathan passed out to you is just kind of like who we are, what we kind of do. We have several different programs. Because not only do we do the infrastructure, we can do things like, I don't know if you have bonds, but we can pay those bonds off. Even if they can't be paid off, we can pay them off and work a way. So we're finding right now we're at a very unique situation that hasn't happened for 30 years because of how low interest rates were and that, and now how high interest rates are, like treasury bills and things like that. We actually can come in and we can buy a city's bonds out, and they're paying less than what they're paying now. So it's a very unique time. It's probably only going to last another 6 months, maybe a year, but it's a very unique time if that's something you like to do. And so what that does for you, if we do your infrastructure, we pay your bonds off or whatever, we are not considered debt on your books. So because we're a month-to-month, monthly usage fee, we're no different than that electric utility bill, which is how we model our business. So therefore, wherever that is on your books, your electric bill, that's where we would be. So if we come in and pay your bonds off, or we do this infrastructure, we actually make you financially healthier. And that's what we try to do. And like I said, we're here to keep you sustained for a long time, and we're your partner. So we're not going to go anywhere. We want to be with you every step of the way. So even though we are a 30-day, month-to-month contract, we're trying to develop 100-year relationships. Because we know you're not going anywhere, we don't want to go anywhere. We want to be here to do whatever you need done. Our contract is a 10-page contract, very easy to go over. And it's our master contract, so any project you have would just be a 1 or 2 page addendum to that contract. So I think I've kind of hit on everything real quick, not to take up too much of y'all's time, and I'll open it up to any questions you may have.
Yes, sir. Well, I like to say, it sounds pretty interesting. We talked to Supervisor Hutchins, and maybe we can get an opportunity to sit down, or maybe get, just look over our contract and see exactly what's going on. Not make, any promises, but we'll probably get a contract to the lawyer and let him just kind of look over and see what you have to offer. But I appreciate the presentation and open the floor, the supervisor.
Mr. President, when you say, this 30-day deal, kind of talk to me about, you said we can get out in 30 days?
Yes, sir. So
Well, so if we can get out in 30 days, can you get out in 30 days?
no, sir.
Okay, that's the most important thing right there.
You have the final say so on that, not us.
Okay, dealing with these bonds, and what I'm hearing is we already have a pretty low interest rate. You can beat that?
It's not beat, so there's a very unique thing that's going on where we can help you utilize the high interest that's going on in the government bond, in like the government T-bills and that kind of thing. So it's actually a way for you to kind of convert and make that, that push in between. So we're actually able to get your payment lower. And sometimes we're paying off bonds and we have money left over for you. Because we don't take any of that. So it's kind of hard to explain. I'm just saying that, that's something we would deal with on a case by case and show you. Maybe we can't, beat what you're doing. But a lot of times, because we're in this very unique financial situation in the country, it's obviously worth looking at. Because look, anything we do for you, you're under no obligation. It's not costing you anything for us to look at anything, give you numbers, whatever. Because kind of going back to the process, we have the master service agreement. You sign that, you're still under no obligation. We bring the service addendum, you sign that, which kind of narrows the numbers down. You're still under no obligation. Only when you say notice to proceed, sign that means you're wanting us to deploy cash. So that's the deal, is we're putting up our money, we're putting up our cash. You're not paying the first thing until 30 days after the project's done. It could be a sewer plant that takes 24 months to build. You're not paying anything until that sewer plant's done. So in what you say about us 30 days out, no, we can't come to you and say, you have to pay us off. We can't do that.
Last question, Mr. President. So, how do you get paid?
So we charge 0.8% fee is what we charge. That's what we make.
All right. Any other questions from the board?
Is there an interest rate tied to the money, and does it escalate with the interest rates as they go up or down?
No, sir. So again, because of the way we're structuring this on a monthly usage fee, we actually, we have investors that put money in. It's no different than the people who put money in the bonds, pension funds, insurance companies, those kind of things. They will make a yield, a single digit yield, but there's no fluctuation. So when we give you a monthly usage fee, that's what it stays. So even as we're deploying capital later on, it stays the
So
same.
it's 10 years down the road, same fee all the way down?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so that's why technically there's not an interest rate. It's not like a normal kind of loan. But again, as we go into, it's easier to explain when you have a project to show you. Right now I'm just kind of talking in widgets.
Okay.
But you can see like it's gonna be this, and let's say it's a 30-year thing, and in 10 years something has to be replaced. We're gonna replace it, and you're still gonna be paying the same monthly usage fee.
We'll go on back in?
No, so there is no back end because we're 30 days. So to give you an example, during COVID, we had cities that, the governor said, can't cut the water off, but, so they still had high water usage, but no one paying revenue. And they said, we just can't afford it, what do we do? So we suspended their payments some of them for 3 months, some of them for 4 months, whatever it was. Then they came back and they said, you know, hey, we've got things back to normal when we start paying again. How much more do we need to pay each month to catch up? Nothing. Oh, you're gonna put it on the back end? No, sir, there's no back end, because again, you can get out in any given 30 days. Because this goes back to what I said a while ago. I'm trying to develop a 100-year relationship with you. And if you miss payments for 3 months, 4 months, what does that mean in the full spectrum of the 100 years?
All right,
Okay, thank you.
so just one more question. We appreciate you, Mr. Carson, and, we'll look forward to having a future conversation with you.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go and get that master utility agreement to you, so you can give it to your lawyer, be looking over, and then we can go from there.
All right, well, we thank you.
All right, thanks.
Ms. Lyle, well.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here to ask you, or my concern for sanitation, pick up. On August 29th, my trash was left delivered. I was coming from the opposite way when the trash truck came off of Davis School in Tasha Drive. When I got home, my little white meat bag was sitting right there. When I got in the house, I called sanitation department, and she told me she'd check it into it. Didn't hear anything from her. So a couple of days, I called her back, and she still didn't have nothing really to tell me. So I made it, after a couple of months, I made a visit down there to her, and nothing was resolved. And I asked her, what would she like for me to do? She said, put your trash out. I said, well, I'm gonna tell you, I haven't been, because when you show me who you are, I believe you. I don't know why my trash wasn't picked up, and I am the one who keep Tasha Drive and Davis Court clean for 23 years. And ask for no help, because I tell the neighbors, it may not be your call. I have no problem with cleaning this, because we'll quote, it's next to God. And it is. So, my concern is, where do I go from here? When she told me to put my trash out, I did that. And that, there's been a period that the truck have not been running. So I would like to know, how are you going to assess the bills for me on that? How would that be handled?
On the legal part, I had to see how a bill assessing, will have to go through the legal department. I don't know exactly how we assess the bill, but that'll be through the legal department. But we are working on, garbage right now. Most of these, gentlemen and ladies in here are contractors that we're gonna open bids, and, we working on getting the garbage issue resolved right now.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
you talking about 1 month? What are you
No,
talking about?
I'm talking about, like I say, they didn't pick my trash up on the 29th of August.
I'm saying, you saying compensation.
Okay. What, no, because after that, remember I said that I didn't put my trash out. I'm not gonna make you, and I'm not gonna beg you. I pay my way. I've always done. And anytime you intend to leave my trash, and I keep your neighborhood clean, our neighborhood clean, and this is what you do to me, everybody's somebody. God didn't take time to make a nobody. Mary Crowder, President and CEO of Home Material Gift, who I had the opportunity to work for her company. She wrote the book.
As well, my question is, you say compensation. What do you want to be compensated for?
No, I
1
didn't
month?
say compensated. No. I said, how are you planning on handling this? As in a second. I said, handle mine. Because like I said, you left my trash on the 29th.
What you want us to do?
I'm not asking, all I want to do is be treated fair. And if you didn't pick up my trash, when I was working, if I didn't work, I didn't get paid. If I didn't work, I didn't get paid.
So I'm gonna meet with you after this meeting just to find out what do you want the county to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Yes.
thank you so much, thank you all.
Yes, Ms. Wilson, we're working on, we'll make sure you be picked up.
All right, and enjoy your day.
All right, thank you.
Okay, excuse me.
Ms. Shawnette Bell, Lower River Road. Is Ms. Shawnette Bell. All right, Fred Parker, insurance. Fred Parker. All right, city government business, if any.
Morning, board.
Good morning.
Supervisor Grant's meeting up here before the board. He and I have been talking in recent weeks concerning the recent award of the DEQ Municipal and County Water Infrastructure Grant Program monies for Phase 2 of Morgantown Road. The city is in receipt of the grant agreement from DEQ. The city will be accepting that award in its next regular board meeting. It does have obligations, of the city and of the county on a dollar-for-dollar basis concerning this award. Our total project, cost rounded is $1.8 million, specifically 1.797. We were awarded $898,985 from DEQ. We have matching funds obligated to this award as well. If you remember, these monies must come from your ARPA monies awarded by the Treasury a couple of years ago. And I'm assuming the county has received both of its deposits by this time. Adams County has committed $560,000 and the city has committed $340,000 for the project. We did procure recently an engineering firm. At the board meeting in a couple of next week, we will sign them to a contract for CE&I services. Any questions concerning this project?
Any questions?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Once, you go to your board and get this approved, what we need to do, we need to approve anything over here today, where we won't have to follow up and do nothing after y'all make y'all approve it.
No action is taken today. I did want to, remind the board, that they do have, as well as the city, an obligation to put in local money, for this. And we can come back at a later time to see if we're going to do it at lump sum payment or on a monthly reimbursement basis when we get our invoices, start coming in.
Okay, Mr. President, last question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, what is the time frame from y'all next board meeting until we can actually put this out for bid? Or do whatever to next step?
We will request permission to advertise when the board meets again next week. I believe in speaking with Mr. Ford, we're going to look to advertise in April, there he is, okay, in April.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions?
I just want to clear something up, Mr. President and board. Now, this is just one phase. It's not the whole project, this is just one phase. Is that correct?
Yes, this I think you've been considered as phase 2.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate your time and we appreciate the update.
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving on to departmental reports. We're gonna do Mary Kay, Grant Commission.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I'm here to ask, just request, we are looking to apply for a grant that will allow us to provide mentoring and workforce development. We're gonna partner with Workforce Development, Natchez Inc., Colin, Wayne Job Center, Natchez Adams County School District, and local employers to provide apprenticeship, hopefully, teaching them trades and whatnot. It's a high school equivalency prep and test that we will be doing with, partnering with Colin. A Smart Start course, 25 lessons thinking for a change curriculum. It will employ one new full-time coordinator and possibly a couple contract workers. We're looking to apply for $150,000 to $200,000. grant is due March the 10th, and if awarded, it will start on July 1. So we will oversee it of youth court, but so it'll go through the county, it will be a county grant.
Grant. All right. Well, you heard the request, Ms. Mary Kay Dolan. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins.
Second.
Been properly second by Supervisor Wilson, giving them approval to apply for the grant. Any discussion?
Mr. President, challenge this to one that's gonna be working.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any more discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I sat on that board with Southwest Planning and Development, and I'm glad that you all are applying for that money, because every year, this RFPs are put out for that funding, and we never get anyone from Natchez to apply for it, so I'm glad that you all are applying for it.
All right.
It's good to know.
Any other discussion? Are you ready to vote? All those in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Departmental reports. Don't be shy. Yeah.
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
I'm here to present the E911 calls for the month of January. The Sheriff's Department received a total of 549. The Police Department received a total of 1,180. The Fire Department was 32, and volunteers was 20. I also have some other business to discuss to be determined later on.
All right. Well, thank you. Next.
I'm back.
All right.
I have 4 board orders and a request to send Ms. Davis. She's been with us for a couple of years now. She was Helen Flowers' position when she retired. We're requesting that she goes to certification school up at Mississippi State in May. For 1 week, it will be the 8th through the 12th, and then the second week it'll be the 22nd through the 26th.
You have paperwork?
Yes, sir. Got a whole envelope.
I'm saying have you had, been signed off for human resource?
I've never done this before, so I don't know
This is travel.
anything about it.
I need it.
Travel, right? You gotta-
Uh-huh.
That's just
Yeah,
travel.
she's gonna have to go, she's gonna have to go up there.
Yeah, I need it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, you heard the request for Mr. Demetrius Davis. She will be going to Mississippi State. 2 different times. It'll be May 26th through the, May 21st through the 26th on the first one, and on the second one, May 7th through the 12th on the next one. So can I get a motion?
So moved.
Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson,
Second.
been properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Are there any discussion? There are no discussion. Are we ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you.
All
It's gonna be good for us. We need more certified people. 2 personal and 2 real. James Allen on Slip Rod Road. There's been a mapping error for years.
and they're requesting it to be fixed. It would be a loss of $259. That would be James Allen Slip Rod Road. I've never heard of that road, but 8A as a matter of fact.
Is it in the county?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, because of
How
the
spell that road for me?
SLIPROD, Slip Rod.
Slip road. Yeah.
Where's it at?
Is it in your area?
Not really, no.
You know where
No.
it is?
Do you know where it's at?
Robbie, do you know where it's at?
I'm about to look, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to look that up. But, what's the problem with the map in here?
He had, they were putting too much land on him. And so, the mapper, the people we had doing the mapping corrected it.
You got it.
You see it?
Sure do.
There is a name like that?
I don't know what this is, but that's where it's at.
You never heard of it?
It's Roxy.
It's on that
I
map.
never hear from those people, that's why.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we, deduct $259, is that what you said?
Yes, sir, 259.83.
Well, you heard the request. Can I get a motion?
That was my motion.
Oh, that was, okay. Well,
A second.
it's been properly motion by Supervisor Wilson and properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion?
Mr. President, the only discussion I have, I do see it on the map. The road manager, looking up, I just want to, kind of amend that pending, that is a county road. I know, I see it on the
It's
map.
on our books.
I see it on there. I take this back.
It's all the numbers. Where it's at. Must be a very tiny road. But it's on.
Is it just land? Is it just land?
Yes, ma'am.
No one
This
lives
is
on that
small.
road?
Ma'am?
No one lives on it, it's just.
Oh, no,
land,
he's
right?
got a, building on there, but it was the land that was messed up.
All right, any more discussion? Are we ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried, unanimous.
Thank you. Now I have Jarmy and Angie Johnson. And this is a building only. It burned in 21, and we didn't get notified until they received the tax bill. And that would be a loss of $194.41. And it's on Lily Lane, 12 Lily Lane.
All right. You heard the request. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly seconded by Supervisor Milton. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimous.
Thank you. Hope House, a new purchaser. She purchased it in the latter part of 21. When she purchased it, it was a bed and breakfast. It's not a bed and breakfast anymore. And I did go and look at the deed, and it was the latter part of 21 that she bought it. So I'm asking for it to be removed from the roll, since this is her individual home now, for $156.
You heard the request?
Hope House, that's on State Street, 700 State Street.
Heard the request, can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Milton,
Second.
properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimous.
Magnolia Frack and Sand. Mr. Blaine come to see me, the latter part of last week.
they sold that off to APEC. I've not received a rendition in 2 years from them. And, he owed last year and he went on down and paid that one. But I'd like to have this for another week to let me see if APEC bought all their equipment. But I hadn't been able to compare APEC to what Magnolia Frac has. But he wanted me to go ahead and bring it to the board and ask if it can be removed. That's $44,000.
Well,
Yeah. Well,
When did he sell it?
I would,
He said he sold it in the latter part of 21.
And he didn't do a rendition?
No, they have not done rendition into Randy.
Just take a look at it and see if it's being
No.
double taxed on
See,
Apex. If it's not been double taxed by Apex, then you
See, I need to go get,
yeah.
Apex didn't send me a real heavy list last year at all.
Well, I mean, just me as the president, I would suggest that you go back and do some more homework and, check and see,
I told him I'd bring it to
get
you.
all our facts in a row before we make that kind of judgment on it. That's just my, how the rest of the board feel, what's y'all problem?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir, Mr. Gray.
my question is it even legal for us to do it?
To remove it, only if it's double safe. If Apex sent in the same equipment I have on Magnolia Frac, then it would be legal.
So have they done that?
I don't know, I hadn't been able to get the whole list from Apex.
Well, I agree with the president. After you,
But Mr. Blaney begged me to bring it in, so.
that don't make it right
I
just because he asked you to do it, but I agree with the president, go back and research it a little bit more and come back with the right answer. And
Works for
if
me.
we can do it, if our legal advice tell us to do it, we don't have a problem, just make sure it's legal.
the property was, and you know this, the personal property was in the county, you know, before, what is it, April 15th, is that, or April 1st?
March 1.
March 1st?
The renditions due April 1.
Okay.
Anything
Either
that's
way, if the
brought
personal
in.
property is in the county, then somebody's gotta pay us.
Right.
The liability is somewhere.
Right.
We find whoever it is, and that's fine, Apex can write the check for it instead.
Now, you said he paid 21,
No, he said he sold it in 21.
what did he pay?
Oh, he didn't want to disclose that.
It doesn't, and for personal property, it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, the taxes, I was talking about the
Oh,
taxes, he said
the
he
taxes.
paid.
It was right around 58,000 after the penalties because he was a year late,
Oh, okay, and he still owes 22.
22, which would be.
Okay, okay, I just wanna make sure I was clear.
Yeah,
All right.
I did check, that's why I was a little late this morning, I made sure he paid.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, like I said, I suggest you go back and kind of get all the information in line, because we definitely don't want to we don't want to hold them, double set, but we definitely don't want to make an illegal vote,
Well,
so,
I promised, so
Go
I
back.
did.
and check, and, I appreciate you got any more.
Look,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
I got something. Slip Rod, it's in Garden City area, out around Cary Road, it's a private road, it's out in the forest.
Okay.
It is on Washington line.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right, Mr. Bradford.
Good morning, board, everybody. Sign
Good
off.
morning.
Sign off. I got a couple things this morning. We're gonna have our Natchez Airport tabletop exercise, February 9th, that's this Thursday. If any of you wanna come and see what we do for the emergency preparedness at the airport. We know they're in the process of redoing the airport, so we wanna make sure we got all the emergency plans in place to support that. So this is some requirements that he's gonna need through the FFA to make sure he get approved. And so we're gonna make sure he's squared away on that. Also, we're gonna have spring severe weather preparedness week. That's gonna be February 20th through the 25th. It's gonna be statewide. So we just wanna keep everybody in mind that, you know, we get into that season. I think that groundhog saw his shadow. So we got 6 more weeks. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going on what the TV told me. With that being said, we have ordered the parts for our Cloverdale outdoor water side. We got the parts in. We just waiting on some safety equipment for the guys to be able to get up in the bucket. And right now, we do have a guy that may have a bucket. We just need to make sure the availability. I think Robbie put me on to that guy. So they'll try to. That's the main one we want to get done in that area. A lot of people been calling about that. So we're gonna try to hopefully take care of that by the end of this month. We should be good. So guys, they're ready. Just waiting on the safety equipment to come in. So we'll let you do that. I want to let everybody know that my administrative assistant, she will be graduating from the Emergency Management Basic Academy this Friday in Pearl, Mississippi. So she'll be a certified emergency manager at the base level, and that's a great thing for the county.
Who is that?
Bree Cooks.
Okay?
Also, the REPC, we have approved the request for a hazardous material emergency preparedness grant. This year, all our exercises gonna focus on hazmat spills, so we try to get all our firefighters, all our industrial companies in on that. In the event we have any hazardous material spill in the preliminary areas of Adams County. We do have hazardous material come through all the time, so these are some of the things we want to focus on this year as a county and as a regional exercise committee. And with that being said, they approved for us, asked us to bring before the board to request a emergency preparedness grant program through MEMA in the amount of $2,245. It's an 80-20 match, so the county, we only gonna be out of $359.20. I do have that money in my budget. Once we pay for it, we're gonna split that $359.20 throughout the 4 counties. So what we actually gonna pay gonna be less than that, because 4 counties participate in the grant. So it's 80-20, I just need permission for us to go forward with that.
So you heard the request of the emergency manager. Can I get a motion?
Second.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Middleton and properly second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion?
No, Mr. President, what is the other 3 counties?
We got, it's Jefferson, Franklin, us and Wilkins, so it's total 4. And I'll get this to Scott, this is a copy of Scott for your records. So,
Any more discussion? We're ready to vote. All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carries unanimously.
My next item I want to request for Tom McGee. He's been our planning chief for going on 3 to 4 years. He do a great job in my area. He takes care of the weather for me. He sends out reports every morning. He's on it, and he keep us intact. He look at our plans, make sure we missing anything that we need to submit for us, like grants or anything like that. And I wanted to add him to our contracted EMA personnel. And we do have money in the grant. He's gonna be working through our radiological emergency program grant. And I think we received like $10,000 a year. So his pay will be $250 a month. I think that's total like $3,000 a year. And we do have that money set aside for that in the county to allow him to do emergency preparedness in the county. Continue that with our Homeland Security. He operates like any weather event. He pulls up our command post. He's keeping track on everything to try to make sure everybody's good. We have to do the reimbursement on that. So I just need the board to approve the contract. He's gonna be the same as my other 2 contractors, no insurance or nothing like that.
All right, you heard the request of the emergency manager. Can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Middleton,
Second.
properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Yes, you got it.
It's not a budget increase, it's got a.
Yeah, I got the money, yeah.
Yeah. Motion carries unanimously. Yes.
And I have the contract for Scott.
For Scott,
Same
yeah.
thing, so. Also, I know Bree had requested for me to travel to Starkville for our 911 coordinators meeting. It got canceled due to the weather up in North Mississippi, so we kind of postponed it to the 16th and 17th. They're gonna cover all the expenses, so the county won't have to put out the hotels and meals. They will cover that through the association. So I need request to travel on the 16th and 17th to Starkville, Mississippi.
You did, got paperwork, Brad?
I don't have, is it,
He don't need the paperwork, he just.
It's just a date change, correct?
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
It's just
Date
I just
change.
wanted to make sure we document all, keep it in our minutes then, okay? Let's keep them straight and legal, Brad.
oh yeah, I know, we do.
Y'all heard the request of the emergency manager, can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson,
Second.
properly second by Supervisor Middleton. Any discussion? No discussion, are you ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right, motion carries unanimously.
Just to put out to the public, we're gonna be pushing our Code Red campaign during the week of 20th to the 25th. So we're gonna try to find a location in the county, we're gonna broadcast it. If anybody hadn't signed the Code Red, we anticipate everybody signed up. If you got kids, go ahead and put them on there. You know, it's a great thing to have. The board of supervisors, they work diligently in providing this free service to the community. So let's everybody take advantage of it, because you miss out on a lot of key information when we put stuff out, like with the garbage. You know, you get those updates and stuff. I know COVID kind of beat a lot of people out. People call and want to get out Code Red, but I assure you, get back on Code Red. You know, it can help save lives. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, still be good.
10 o'clock, right? No. Huh? The video?
Before we come to the,
Yeah.
Warren, I went to Forestry looking at fire trucks, it's looking in good shape to, you know, to look at purchasing it. So kind of, they're gonna be looking at some more trucks coming in for that also. The one they had was pretty much kind of rusted out. But, we're also looking to replace the brush trucks we have, and they're supposed to be looking out for some more pickup trucks, and they do have one that was on the yard up there in Forestry. And kind of it was supposed to go to another department, but they backed out on it, and kind of want to go and take a look at it, make sure everything on it, and it has a tank on it and all that. A small pickup truck, but I want to make sure it works before we, you know, purchase anything. I don't want to get anything and we get it down here, it's not working. So just request to go back to kind of take a look at that pickup truck and make sure it's operating properly. That's at Mississippi Forestry.
When are you going?
Probably next week. So I'm not sure about Monday or Tuesday. Just kind of, cause we got so much stuff going on for drills and stuff, so. I just want to go up there and make sure everything's working on it before we do it. $100, forestry vehicle grant that they do up there. So that's all I have.
All right, can I get a motion to give him permission for travel? Been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins, been properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have sign right, motion carried, man. All right, we advertised for RFPs for garbage. And at this time, we want to do the bid over.
yeah, if I could get a motion to find that the advertisement was made in the paper as pursuant to the statute.
Can I get a motion?
Sorry.
Properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins and properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right, motion carried unanimous.
Now, we're gonna visit.
Parsons Waste Pro.
That's a letter saying they want to send a proposal.
Deal with it. More than that.
This is from United Infrastructure and Services of Louisiana LLC, is that Paul?
What?
Yeah, the Metro Services. Initial bid form was $25.33 for once a week, $26.66 for twice a week.
Repeat that.
I'll just say it's twice a week, $26.66 for twice a week. That's not at all. KDSI or ERA. Jimmy, where your form is?
Sir,
The form is?
it says proposal form, I think, on the tab. Does it not?
Base proposal price.
There's an alternate behind that first sheet,
Says no bid.
but it has an alternate.
$26.95 for twice a week
With the car,
with cars.
yes, sir.
Okay. That is all we have.
Oh, really?
Waste management down.
See? Do they have anything? Yeah.
Forwarded a letter to Slover this morning.
What's that?
I said, we have forwarded you a letter this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not see a letter. To my email address?
Yes.
Did you do it?
Yes, myself and Mr. Hall.
I don't know, I don't have a county email. It should return back when they do that.
There's no bid that.
Did you do it?
There's no bid.
Gmail or did you do it?
Email, yes.
Yeah, but that, it just forward to them, email. I guess so.
What's the letter for?
Okay.
Sir,
Mr. President, what
Yes,
is
sir.
the letter for?
just notifying that we had a no bid.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you'd submitted it.
No, no.
Okay,
If we were submitted, then,
Thanks, Andy.
yes.
yeah, well, thank you, Supervisor Grant.
Clearing that up.
Yeah, we're clearing that up pretty quick. All right, well, what's the pleasure of the, board? That we'll take it under advisement.
I'll make a motion, take it under advisement.
It's been properly, been moved by Supervisor Milton to take it under advisement. Can I get a second? The proper second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimously.
Mr. President, may I ask one question?
Yes, you can.
Mr. Slover, the first envelope you opened was what? I didn't understand it.
It was a decline letter by Waste Pro.
Okay, and what was the name of the other company, United what?
It's an affiliate of Metro Services Group. United Infrastructure Services of Louisiana LLC.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We'll move back to the departmental report.
Morning, Board. We had a total of 357 911 calls, 244 transports, which is an increase of 41 as compared to the December numbers. Average response time in the city is 7 minutes and 31 seconds. County is 13 minutes and 14 seconds. We did see an increase in refusals for transport. And we had 22 no patient found calls. What we're finding is that those same exact responses are carried over month from month. So we're getting those calls and we're still going to those addresses and there's still nobody there, month over month over month. So I'll be working with the 911 board and the sheriff to weed those down because most of them are in the county.
We did have an increase in site calls. They increased by around 24% for the month, up to 20. We had 230 times where we had multiple ambulances on calls at the same time in the county. Flew 2 patients directly from the field. We saw an increase in ER time. We had 163 hours and 54 minutes on the wall at Merritt waiting for beds. That's a 13% increase in a single month from December. And I actually had staff assign 4 days out of the month in the ER to try to free up those ambulances by carrying extra gurneys up there and babysitting patients. A total of 1,241 EMS requests, that's private and 911 combined together. And the big thing is as of Wednesday of last week, we have now spent $1 million in purchases of new units. So we're going through the licensing process right now for 9 new units in the operation that'll be deployed throughout our deployment plan, and those will be brand new. So be looking for those on the road. They are different style units. Some of them are like the big transit vans where they're really kind of high, so I'm kind of worrying about the crews driving under canopies. We're doing some education on that piece and just working them through the licensing part. And then those will be deployed in the county, and y'all will be able to see those going around about. I'd actually also ask that when we do make a deployment, we bring one by, let the board look at it, maybe take a picture with it. That'll be good for me to send to my corporate office. Let them know that y'all appreciate it, because it was an argument for me to get them, especially now, as hard as it is to get. So that's the end of my report, unless y'all have any questions for me.
All right, well, we appreciate it. Any other questions from the day?
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Departmental report.
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I only have one question this morning. I presented some pay increase forms for the 4 employees in my office. And on Thursday, I met with Randy and Scott, and this will be at no additional cost to the board. The money is already in my budget, so I'm just, wanting to get approval on that today.
Who was it? Was it Linda Golden? David Johnson? Shirley Emery? Keisha Green?
And this should be all. Just those 4, sir.
Just those what?
Just those 4.
Okay, all right. Pay rate change, you heard you have talked to Brandon and Scott already. Nothing is going on with his budget. Had Keisha Green. Shirley Emery. David Johnson. And Linda Golden.
What is the,
All of them is the same.
No.
That's what I'm saying, what's the rate?
Dollars, what was it, $1? It's like $1.67, I think.
$1.67, Lakeisha Green, $20.19. Deputy Clerk, $16. Shirley Emery.
When you say $20.19, that's what she getting, or that's what she making, or what?
That's what she.
That's what she.
So it went from what?
She met with them, it's not on here.
Well, how can I approve something when I don't know what I'm approving?
Did you bring that file forward?
Well, see, that's why we put a form down, so they can meet with Scott and Brandon first, and they approve the money. I mean, I don't know if
They can't approve nothing, we do the approving. My thing is, only thing I'm saying, like when another department come in, they say the pay rate go from 13.25 to 14 whatever.
Well, that's fine.
That's what I need to know.
Well, I'm saying that's fine, but we could get them to get it, but what I'm saying is, Supervisor Gray and Supervisor Hudson, I'm not saying that 1 minute that we don't need to do that, but we had a form in place, and I do understand what you wanna know, where they went and where we going. But they did meet with Scott and Brandon, so they'll have the information, and I'll get it from now on.
So the difference is at $1.56 per hour. Lakeisha went from 1817 to 2019. Johnson went from 1313 to 16?
16.
Okay, and 1313 to 16, and then Golden is the same. Well, sorry, she went from 1355 to 1650.
This is money that was already,
So
it
it's
is
like
budget.
$1.87 an hour per person.
What about Shirley?
She was, Shirley and Johnson were the same.
Same.
They were-
13 to 16?
Yes. Well, you heard the, request of the tax collector. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Been properly moved by Supervisor, Wilson, and properly second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion?
On the discussion I had, you said already in their budget.
Yes,
It's
sir.
already in his budget. He also delayed hiring somebody
Right.
since last summer, and that saved a good bit. So originally this money was, we had a consultant in, and Terrence, we ended up thinking it's gonna be a lot longer, and Terrence ended up, getting that done real fast, and that's why it's asking the board to do it.
I understand that. I don't have a problem with it when you say it's in a person's budget, but what I have a problem with, when we go through the budget process, and then here is February, we come in saying, every department in here can find some money and say, well, it's in my budget, I need a raise. The proper way to do this, again, is once we have the budget process, all this need to come up during the budget process, where at the end of the budget, we won't have no slip-ups. Somebody over their budget, and the reason they over their budget, because they took some money from this line item and put it in that line item, and all of a sudden now we over the budget. Everybody know them kind of game.
Absolutely.
I ain't got a problem with nobody getting no raise, but we got, how many employees?
Approximately 205.
Well, all 205 of them want a raise. And I'm done with it, but the right way to do it is try to do it the right way.
All right, are we ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Department reports next.
Morning, board. First thing I have, Hartman Road Bridge. I mentioned, last meeting before last, I was getting with the contractor that had our yearly bids. They have 2 piles that's bad under that bridge that I need to get replaced. I did get the quote on that, it's $58,500. That's from Dozier. He has our yearly bid on, driving our piles on our bridges, and that's who give us this bid.
How much was it?
$58,500.
All right, you heard the, request of the road manager. Can I get a motion?
So,
Been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins. Been properly seconded by, Supervisor Wilson. Are there any discussion? Are we ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimous. All right.
Thank you, board. Another thing I have, Burt Road Bridge, we're in the process of getting a new bridge put there, and I've been checking on, temporary bridges and access to get the residents back and forth. I met with, IMS, Mr. Ford, met down there, supervised the road there the weekend. I do have 3 quotes, but, I'm gonna wait until we can meet and look about where we're gonna be able to put this temporary bridge, because it might would change between now and time we get the temporary, way the water flows into that creek off a little canal that comes in, or little drainage that comes into it. So, I do have some quotes, but I'm not ready to get with Chucky. He'll submit it to the board, at this time.
Robbie, how long is that bridge? Gonna have to be.
The temporary bridge be 90 foot is what they offer. Be a 90-foot rail car. It'll be, where the top of the rails are on this bridge now, that's where the bottom of the temporary would be, to let the water flow under if we have any rain. I think it's 3 to 4 months, is that right, Mr. Ford? We're estimating time from, yeah, on construction, 3 to 4 months.
You say you're gonna put a rail car in the creek and then a bridge over the top of it?
No, sir.
Temporary?
No, sir. They're gonna build up abutment walls on each end and then put a 90-foot car on it. And like I said, the height of the bridge will be what the rails are now on the other bridge that's there.
Oh, you know, they have one of those 90-foot bridges down there in Wilson County. It's sitting on the side of the road because they used it and they set it aside and they don't move it unless they need it. And the first time they moved it is because they stole it from me. But that's a whole nother issue. But anyway, that bridge is sitting there, and I'm sure Wilson County would be pretty
Okay. So you want
eager to.
you want me to speak with someone at Wilson
I
County?
think I talked to the lawyer down there, but they got one down there. And just for the record, a gentleman sold it to me when they got through at Possum Corner. And I left it there for 3 years on the side of the road because I didn't need it. When you move something like that, it takes 4 pieces of equipment to do it.
Correct.
Because it's 90 feet long.
Correct.
And you have to have escalator behind it to move it around.
Tag axles to move it.
Right. So anyway, he then sold it to Wilson County 3 years later. And they moved it on temporary bridge for themselves and they fixed that bridge. And so now it's sitting on the side of the road.
Okay.
But yeah, y'all can talk to somebody down there. Maybe we get a better deal on it.
Thank you, sir. Other thing I have, Supervisor Wilson, Red Fox, went out, took a look at it, went back, Mr. Ford was in town, we looked at the EWP, so we rode out and looked at it. One driveway, the inverts are backwards, on that drive. So, that drive will have to be saw cut, tore out, new cover put in, and then concrete poured back. Normally the county don't go to that expense to pour concrete back on driveways once we do them. We put gravel, so I don't know what we're gonna do. With somebody developing a building in that neighborhood, what direction I need to go.
Scott, you got any input on that? We got a culvert that somebody put in, I assume it was the original builder of the subdivision. And it's wrong, it's the low end is the high end. So, it's flooding every time. We're gonna have to cut it out, the cement out of somebody's driveway. Is it their actual driveway or is it their secondary?
Well, I say it might be the actual. I know it's a little building there and all, but it could go into their carport. I didn't pay that much attention. Secondary, that's what I thought it was, but I wasn't gonna say it, I wasn't 100% sure.
So normally we do not pour back concrete if somebody's poured concrete over a culvert. That is actually a county culvert, I assume, because it's on the right of way.
Correct.
So he needs some advice about how we will proceed with that.
I mean, is it affecting the county right away?
It's affected the roads. The water's not draining because the inverts is swapped, so the water's not draining. It's just piling up in that road. Road.
Robbie can do what he needs to do. If it's within the county right away and it's affecting the county right away, then we can get fixed.
We'll be cutting out concrete and putting back gravel. And if they want cement back, it'll be at their
And that's what I
expense.
said, I can get with the land. I mean, it needs to be done, but we can put some 16 in it and leave it to them or what they wanna do. But, it needs to be fixed. It is a problem.
Well, it's the fault, but it's the metal stuff.
What's the address?
I didn't write it down, Ricky. I knew where it was at when he told me. It's a
I'm
purchase.
gonna say this, and I hope I don't be out of line, Board. If I got concrete and the county come in and do a project, you're gonna put concrete back. You're not gonna put no whatever back and think it's my responsibility to put concrete back. I don't think it works like that.
No, I thought the same
Even
thing.
though with the EWP project, you gotta put it back just like it was. You can't take somebody's concrete and put gravel back. You need to investigate that.
And we need to look at it, like I said, since I've been here, that's what
That's
we've
what-
always done, but I'm saying we can change it as this board. I'm like you, I always thought whatever you tear out, you need to go back.
If it's legal, do it like you always done it, but I'm just saying if it was my property, then I'm gonna request to put back concrete, cause that's what you removed.
Yeah, but you're also fixing their mess up, really.
So why would we be fixing somebody else's mess up if it's not legal?
It is legal because it's affecting our county.
It's in our right of way, and the county didn't put it in, whoever built the subdivision, once they developed it, built it, they, you know, at that time was responsible for all the drainages and things like that, and then we go in and accept it, and here one is, and it's for our time, Ricky, I mean, it wasn't accepted with me and you standing here,
Mr.
but.
President, he goes again, where we accepting subpar neighborhoods and somebody get the county to accept it, and then the county got to go back and fix what these people didn't fix. That ain't even fair to the county.
In this particular area is why we have the ordinances in place to keep that from happening in the future. too.
So in the near future, that's why when they build these new subdivisions, I'm hesitant on bringing them in as a county road until we 100% sure that it's up to standards.
Yes, sir. And that's why we put the year watch period and all that too. We've been.
How long ago was that accepted, Robbie, do you know?
It's for my time, yeah.
So you were born.
No, that subdivision not that old.
I think it's 42, right?
I just turned 41, actually.
All right. Other thing I have is, 21 Southview Drive. Same thing on Ratcliffe, but we're gonna talk about 21 Southview right now, and then we'll go to the other one. 21 Southview. The guy's collecting plastic car bumpers, front and back bumpers. I rode up on him, I guess it was last Wednesday. I passed him on him every day. He had a load of them going in. I turned around and followed him and took pictures, spoke with him, took pictures of them there. He's going to unload them at the edge of the bayou on his property. We've been through this. He's saying we're not coming on this property because it's supposed to be like a 15, 16, 17, 18 address there. That part of it is his property. The state might own the other property, but he's saying we need a survey to do before we come. To me, when he's going out in the public and collecting, or not collecting, or probably getting paid by some of these body shops to collect these bumpers or dispose of these bumpers for them, about like tires for these tire shops. It's not the county's responsibility to go back and pick them up, but we have to because of what it does to these neighborhoods. But I need some guidance on it. I know you said go ahead, but I'm telling you what he's saying, so if it's not an issue, we can start tomorrow. I just need a deputy to go with me to clean them up. But somehow we need to hold him and whoever he's getting them from responsible.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Great.
We need to put something in place in the county where it's already illegal to dump, but he's getting stuff from another business. All the car businesses in town, he's going around collecting it and taking it to a piece of property and dumping it on this piece of property. So we clean up illegal dumps. He creating an illegal dump. So on record it's showing that it belongs to the state of Mississippi from what I'm looking at. He claiming that it's his. So have you?
What is he, what address is he saying it is?
He's saying 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I mean, he named off, and that was the order he put them
He
in.
paying taxes on it? The same state of Mississippi on here.
It's like a whole cul-de-sac.
Correct.
State of Mississippi is. Second, doesn't matter if he is the rightful owner or not, you can't just dump stuff any kind of way. So, and then I'm sure in DQ probably you get them out here as well.
I mean, it's just like us picking up behind a contractor on limb break removal. It's not the county's responsibility or the taxpayer's responsibility to go behind this guy who's getting compensated to remove the stuff and then send the county back out there to clean it up. It's ridiculous.
And then he dumped it on the state of Mississippi property. It's not even his property. So, to be legal, Mr. Attorney, we've been dealing with this, I don't know how long. So what legally can we do? Because I thought we made a motion to go out there and clean that property. Or did we make a motion?
Motion, yes. If the state gave us permission to go out there and clean, and then we could ask for reimbursement.
If he's adding to it.
And what the state, did they not tell us, go out there and clean it up and they was gonna reimburse us?
So we can apply for it and they have funds to do that. 15 Southview, 16, you got 12, 16 is Brian Roberts. I don't know who it is.
12 is Roosevelt Campus.
You were correct.
But that ain't the property that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about 21 and 21, both of them say it's 21.
There's two, there's the cul-de-sac and then there's 21, I mean, there's a cul-de-sac. And then there's a lot next to the cul-de-sac on the, as you come up. 16 is across the street from it.
That's where the camper trailers are that the people living in.
Well, they own that.
That's what
we need.
Is that part of the
It's part of the problem.
We'll get them on the Menace property just like anything else.
He's gonna put another one at the end of the cul-de-sac, just like that.
We'll notice them for a hearing.
Well, that's for his own private property. But what about the state of
You
Mississippi?
have a permission, the state gave us permission to go.
Okay, what Robbie is saying, if I'm not misunderstanding, that he needs the sheriff department to assist him in doing this, because this man, in his mind, thinking that this is his property and it's the state property. We don't wanna send them out there and put them in danger. Is that not what I'm
That's
hearing?
correct, that's what I'm saying. He said he
So-
owns the property.
He needs some assistance.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the Menace on his property, and then we're gonna do it all. You'll have permission to do it all after that point. Adjudicate his as a Menace, and then you already have permission from the state, and the sheriff can assist, Robbie, in whatever they need.
And the one we're doing is 21, is that what's considered the state?
The last one on the left in that big old area in the bottom, that's 21.
And I'll pull it up and make sure, but that's what we're working on the states right now. And then we're
This is
gonna-
slower.
And we're calling MDQ too.
That's wrong. We need something with a little bit more teeth on top of that, being the DEQ and or the state itself, rather than just be Adams County, because this could get a lot out of hand.
Contact MDQ, if that's, I think he's dumping
Come
bumpers.
down and they find them, so they'll.
It ain't no thinking.
That's
It ain't no thinking he's open for.
Yeah, that'll give it more teeth, people a little bit more
There's
scared.
100 bumpers on that.
What
Two
you
stack truck.
That's what I'm thinking.
We got a solution.
No. Okay, what is the solution?
No, I'm asking, I'm coming at the table. What is the solution?
I'm gonna put 16 down on the Menace property. We're gonna contact MDQ, we'll adjudicate it. As soon as time allows us to adjudicate, we can get it in today, and we can adjudicate it next meeting. The sheriff, after the adjudication, can clean both the state's lot and the 16 lot.
So
And we'll notice in the deed here, so he shows up.
I need to go take pictures of everything from the left to the right. Once I start in the
We
cul-de-sac,
need a
all my
motion.
house, the trailer.
We need a motion. You don't need a motion, because I already been there. All right?
Alright. And next thing I have is full dirt request at 57 Greenwood Road, Roy Woods.
I have it in my hand, small dirt request, can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Milton, second by Supervisor Hutchins, any discussion? Are we ready to vote, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nays got the same right, motion carried unanimously.
Okay, I have a Jonathan K. Felker. His 6-month probation period's up. It goes from $13.50 to $14.50 an hour.
I had a paperwork that has been signed, can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins, properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays got the same right.
I'd like to know on the boring permits, what's for? on the boring permits, I know they're doing boring all over Adams County. We're having issues with it, places are selling, washing out, falling in, and things like that. Have we collected anything on any permits? Has anybody called or requested any permits on boring throughout Adams County?
No.
I was gonna say, I don't think people follow, you know, we went through the process, adopted this, my parking lot right there in front of our office, which could be in the city, but it is full of boring equipment this morning, pipes and things, and, you know, but all through the county, they're doing it. I know Supervisor Gray called me last week, I told him I would bring it up this week. It's there on Steam Plant Road, we're having an issue, boring company hit a gas line come in, fixed the gas line, they left the hole open, we got a 5 or 6 inch rain back sometime, went all the way on the road, blowed the whole side of the road out, they come in, drove a few piles, drove off, left it, come back, dumped a load of gravel, left it, and still the load of gravel sitting there. They're clean and doing, I stopped and talked to them, the day he called me, I went out and met with them, they had one there, they had one on Prince Edition, I spoke with them, we're fixing them today, and they will, they'll go fix the little ones, but the big ones, they're not fooling with it. Cemetery Road's a good example. I mean, AT&T went in, but they did fix it. But I mean, it took to the truck falling in the hole before they took responsibility of coming back to fix it. So I don't know, I was just checking where we're at, if anybody's even getting permits. I don't know how we put that out, if we have this in place, if we put it in the paper, how we, you know, to let them know what to do. I mean, I know they're supposed to check before they start boring.
I think we need to have some kind of bond system for, because that's starting to get kind of costly on the county. Some of those machines that are on your place right now moved up the road last Friday and Saturday and bored. And C-Spire contractors on that they knocked out AT&T's line because Dana's building didn't have anything all weekend. Internet and all that stuff was out, but they dug up yards, and I don't know where the right of way is off of Montebello Melrose, but they were 20 feet in the yard. But and you didn't even know they were going to be parking that equipment on basically.
Well, I say it's ours, that's really not our parking lot. It is, but it's not that far out. I mean, it's in our lot, but it's, you know, they are just parking, you know, there. But I'm saying it's getting to be an issue all over the county.
I wonder if they need to start making people bond before they bore, and then until all that stuff is said, that we don't release their bonds.
We went through a lot of
And that ain't going
put
to
it
be $250.
together, and me and Scott worked on it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Attorney,
Sir.
when we put something in place to deal with this, did we have anything in there like Supervisor Wilson talking about or some? We couldn't, because right now they don't even contact us, and they just going on doing what they want to do. But Supervisor Gang, President Gang.
Yes, sir.
Right there on Steam Plant Road where that big old pile at.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
If you look over that pile, the whole road was finna cave in. And those people left it just like that. They put a big old pile of gravel right there, and they left it right there. And they said that they was gonna come back and do X, Y, Z. And we gotta hold them accountable. Yeah, that whole road could blow out.
Well, we need to get something put in place,
Mr. President.
something stronger in place. Yes, sir. Yeah.
We amended this ordinance June 2nd, and they're supposed to get a permit prior to doing a boring or cutting. So they're supposed to get prior permission so that we can have a chance to look at it, make sure it won't damage our road. They're supposed to file for a fee with the Chancery Clerk's office, and that was an order, or an ordinance that was duly adopted.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but are there any penalty if they don't do what you just said?
It's a violation of the ordinance, so that would be
So no
misdemeanor of $1,000, and, you know.
So maybe we need to stop fining.
Yeah.
Is that as high as we can go with that? Because that's not gonna fix any of these roads, but, and also, they're just like, oh, we're not gonna get a permit, we'll just pay the fine if they catch us. And in the meantime, we're gonna lose a road or two.
You know, you're also liable for damage in the county road, so, you know, you can always go out from civilly too, and they're negligent per se.
We certainly need to know who they are, though. And apparently nobody seems to care about notifying us.
Well, you know, Robbie, you have a suggestion? If we start pushing this out here?
My suggestion is, as I'm out through the county, or my foreman drive through the county, I don't want my men, but as a foreman or myself out and somebody's bored or somebody's doing, could they stop and get some information from that boring company and then check and see if they got a permit or who they working for, and then we could contact them on behalf of the county to see, are they following our rules?
Yeah.
There's some areas in Cloverdale as well.
Correct, they're everywhere in Cloverdale. You get the gas companies, all in Cloverdale, cutting the roads up right now, and they're supposed to be through before we blacktop, you know. But, you know, the people call us complain. It's just like when they cut it for water, the gas comes to us, and then they want us to fix it, because the taxpayers don't know, you know, they're calling us because it's road.
Here goes the problem, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
How much we spend on roads?
$8 million.
$8 million. Now, what if we go pave all these roads and they come behind us and do this?
Not gonna. You gotta put something in place. As of today, find out the way we can get it enforced. We do have things in place, but we need to figure out how we're gonna enforce it. And so we're gonna start with Robbie and his foreman of the road department. As they ride, to see them start gathering information from them, and that way we can hold them accountable if they don't have the permits, and if we need, as Scott said, for damaging county roads, if they damage those county roads, freshly paved, or even in good shape, then, you know, we'll ask them to fix them or file suit, whatever we need to do to take care of the county road.
Yeah.
That's the solution. Is that fine with you, Mr. Supervisor Gray? Supervisor Wilson?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that if we don't make them put a bond up or something, when they're gonna do those big projects like that, we're gonna have a lot of trouble getting our money back unless you like, just like filing lawsuits.
We certainly can amend the ordinance and.
We need some more teeth to it, and then when he goes out there and they don't have a permit, how do we shut them down? We need to call the sheriff and say, look, you're not doing another thing until this bond or permit, you get a permit and you pay a bond.
And you do that now.
I would love to have see that, yeah. Yes.
That needs to be done now.
Yeah,
We can amend the ordinance and include a bond if that's.
I'm talking about what Supervisor Wilson said, the ones, if they don't have a permit right now, because we already have that in place, right?
Yes.
So it need to be some consequences. What we need to do is once Riley and them go out and find out they don't have permission to do this, then we need to go on, call the sheriff department and make them pay. Because if you don't, they're gonna continue to do it. Any orders, anything you put in place where there's no consequence, people is gonna walk all over it.
So, yes.
At any ordinance, the proper thing to do is contact the sheriff's office, they enforce the law.
All right, well.
Let me say this, President Gaines. Also, when you say make them pay, you need to shut them down also, because if that bond, if it's only $1,000, that like Supervisor Wilson said, this is not gonna fix our roads, and they're gonna pay the $1,000 and keep going.
They can't do that because you know, they're also liable for any damages.
To those roads.
It's or they're responsible for the rest. They don't have to fix that road anyway, so they can't just pay $1,000 and run off. The problem is, like you said, it's doing it like thief in the night, and then you know, you don't know who they are, and then that.
All right, well, at this point, everybody express how they feel, what they do. So do we need amended motion? So everybody want to make an amended motion? Supervisor Wilson, would you like to amend your motion and make a motion so I can call for it?
I'd like to see the motion read that we are gonna charge a bond.
Legally.
They gotta have a permit, maybe they have to, on these, especially on the bigger projects, that they're putting our roads in danger, that they have to have a bond, and we don't release that bond until after the boring's done and a month or two has passed and it's rained enough that we know that road is still stable. Because the one y'all are talking about on Steam Plant Road, that's gonna be an issue down the line.
It's still there today, put a pile of gravel on it. Like I said, I talked to the contractor.
I don't know if we're gonna have to build a header out there,
Get it.
or what you're gonna have to do.
I'll bring in another amended road ordinance next week.
Well, if you go to Rankin County and do what they're doing in Adams County, they'd be in county lockup over there. You do not go into Rankin County, and if you don't have the permit and a bond in place, you're not doing anything over there. You're going to jail. It's gotta have something with some teeth, like that 811 thing. You go out there and dig up something, you bust a line, and you didn't call 811. sometimes even if you call 811 and they marked it, and you hit it, they're still after you. And, you know, it's like, well, you marked it in the wrong place, but, well, we didn't know.
So Scott, well, you need to, look up some laws and bring back next meeting. Is that what you recommend? He gonna, so that he gonna draft the law and bring it back to the next meeting. All right?
Okay,
All
that's.
right.
Yeah, that's what, I got that wrote down, everything we talked. But anyhow, the 811 kid, we just had that class last week. And they're having so many calls now that people following through supposed to do what they're do to get it right. They're wanting to go from a 48 to a 72 hour period now of response time.
I hope they have an emergency.
Well, they do got an emergency number, but it don't
there's some-
necessarily happen. And the reason I broke that up, sometimes we have, animals we have to deal with. And sometimes the landowner wants you to bury that animal in the property. Or we don't do it. I mean, we need, you know, you need to dispose of them and do it right or whatever, you know, bury them, whatever. But if you go out there and say something happens today, and they call you tomorrow, and they want you to take care of it tomorrow. And then we get a locate, it takes 72 hours to get a locate, that's, you know, I guess it's a fine line there what we do, but if we hit something, we're gonna be held responsible.
Typically, these landowners, they want the animal buried on their own property, or is it, I mean,
Some of them do.
I mean, there's no way to incinerate. That, just digging all over the place and burying animals.
Like I said, you know, I don't know what we need to do, it's just a thought, you might wanna think about. I mean, we don't deal with them every day, but we do have to. And I don't wanna put my guys in danger. I mean, they had a video there, guy driving a T-post, I mean, he drove me dead behind it, you know, blew up right there, you know, in his yard. So you don't ever know where they're at, you know, where the lines are. I mean, Supervisor Gaines, he was in the meeting, you know, the other day in that class for a little while. Like I said, it's very interesting, and it does a lot of good for you to go to understand the process of what are you doing wrong, you know, when we don't call anyone. And so, as they said, they're getting such a high volume of calls now, they're wanting to move it another day of response time, marking, you know. And they do have an emergency.
Yeah.
But,
something needs to be done right then, I mean,
correct.
is what I'm talking about.
Well, like I said, it's just something we need to think about as of Adams County and what direction we need to go in on helping people.
Yeah.
To,
So, I think we need to look at, I did attend the class the other day, so I really think we need to look at that and, probably give a Scott on the next week or two, and we'll look at some of the laws and I'll explain what we did, and we'll revisit this on next meeting.
okay,
All right?
that's fine. Thank y'all.
I know, I'm not through yet. I'm not through. Radcliffe. We had this, guy came here, I know I talked to you this morning, you hadn't had any, anything to go out there Thursday, but I've still been getting calls. So, I mean, we'll give him proper opportunity. And, so he said maybe putting up a fence, but at this point, if you go check and it's not done, I'm ready to move forward with help getting that neighborhood cleaned up. So Scott, I think it's already been in place. Is it in there? There's no more motion that we need to make, or is it?
I'll ask Kate to confirm that. I think we did what we're supposed to do on it. Before the end of this meeting.
Yeah, okay.
We
Well,
gave 90 days the first time.
yeah, we have it, and I think everything's in place, so we're gonna start cleaning that neighborhood up.
I'll go through and take pictures
Okay.
this week and next week before the next meeting, and I don't believe he's do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, all right, let's start Supervisor Wilson, question.
Okay, there's a pretty lady sitting over to your left in the corner, not away.
Right here.
That problem she has behind her house in that ditch, or
I spoke
between
with
her.
her, she's gonna call me, we're gonna go out and meet, that is something the county can address, that is where the county water runs off that moon as far as the drainage, stormwater drainage. So it's just, it needs some stone put in it, some fabric. And she said her sidewalks undermined it, that the sidewalks got a bad dip in it. I don't know if that's something the neighborhood access, or is it?
I guess I'll talk to, Lori about that, to see, cause sidewalks on the Adams County Board of Supervisors radar really in that area, but, so that might be a homeowner association deal on the sidewalk, and so, but we'll talk to Sue Lawyer. Is she still the board president?
Yes.
I'll talk to her, but did you need anything else besides those two items?
No, the drainage easement is really priority, because that water, that stagnant water that's in there, it's a medium for snakes and mosquitoes, and that really needs to be fixed. And also, instead of just putting riprap, it needs to be rocked also.
Well, I'm gonna put some fabric in it, and we'll
Yeah.
put some rock through it, back like it was.
Okay.
And do it that way.
All right.
While you're here, what did the neighborhood, or what did the association say about the
Well,
drainage?
I haven't been able to get a hold of Sue. I texted her and I called her, but she hasn't responded to me. And also I talked with David, the golf course manager, but he said that was not something that, you know, he could help me with, because I needed to take it back to Sue. So until she contacts me, there's, you know, I haven't spoken with her regarding it. On my way home, I'll probably stop by her house and just let her know that this is something that's proposed to be done, and see what she says.
You gotta get a written release on whoever's property.
Well, yeah, the drainage easement through there, we've been through there before, and I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, we've been there before.
She needs to sign one for every project.
All right. Supervisor, yeah.
On the South Palestine?
Yeah, that's what I got right here. Another thing I have, we went to Jackson and I submitted it, or we spoke with Jackson at the Capitol about South Palestine and some other areas throughout Adams County. And I did get Mr. Godfrey to get us a price on a 2-mile stretch and then about a 2.6-mile stretch, and it's $355,000 and $458,000. For that area, to do that part, but like I said, it's just a start. I'm telling you, because the other part is gonna be just as bad as what we're working on now, or trying to get some help on what we're working on now. And I know Ms. Hutchins asked me to bring it back before the board once I got a price, on it, and we have, got that, and she does have a book up there with some pictures and information and things, there.
You know, we had talked about taking this down to gravel, and we're not gonna be able to do that because of the road itself. But this is a road that we're gonna have to do something with, and we can't wait on this because we got landowners and oil wells out there, plus other recreation things going on out there, and also agriculture. So we got also people that are complaining because they drive this road every day to go to work, coming from the north end going
I think
south.
they use it as a cut-through road,
Yes.
to cut some time to go that way to the back, to get the
Exactly.
highway to go out.
Right, exactly. So we're gonna have to do something, and we talked about this last meeting, about looking up a price and everything, and he came back with the prices on 2.6 miles of it. This road is about 8.3
It's 8.3 miles, it's about 8.3 miles, so you got about, 2 miles is on the state aid that does qualify for the state aid, which would be on the Kingston area, the Kingston Road end,
Right.
from Liberty Road to, probably around Board White's is where, the work
Right.
parts, and that's the 6.3 miles that we need to address.
Right, so 2 miles was already in good shape. That part from Boyle White going up
To
Kingston,
Kingston
that's in
Road,
good shape.
correct.
And which is that is state aid anyway, but the rest of it is not state aid. So I would just bring this back to the board to see if there's any way that we could use some of that ARPA money to, do at least 2.6 miles of this road.
Heard the request, what's the pledge of the board?
Mr. President, I understand there's a dire need to address this situation, but it's just my opinion. I mean, the road should have been part of the $8 million bond, and I don't know why, for what reason, that this wasn't addressed in the $8 million bond. Now we talking about adding additional roads, and I've been getting calls from the city. I got roads in the city, so if the supervisor come up with additional roads, we gonna take a little bit from the opera fund? How we gonna do that?
Well, let me say this, Supervisor Gray. We did take $900 and some thousand already for some roads from the ARPA fund. And this is what this money is used for, to do some things.
As long as we treat all of us the same.
I mean, I don't have no problem with that. I mean, that's what we've been doing. We already used some from the ARPA money. And this was just an oversight. In that 4-year road plan, when we was doing that, this road was an oversight, and then was brought back to their attention. So, you know, we talking about something that we said we would use this money for 10 years, looking at 10 years down the road to do this.
As long as we do it,
Yeah,
all
I
supervisors.
have no problem with that.
No, I know and I mean, I don't have a problem either, but I know we applied for some money, so just say if something happened and you get applied for that, will we replace some of that money back or what?
I mean, we can, but you still got, you talking about 8 point some miles of road, so you still got, you'll have 6 point some miles to deal with anyway, so if we get that funded, you can do another 2.6 miles of that road, because eventually that whole road is gonna have to be done. So.
No comment.
Where's the engineer?
Mr. Ford.
Mr. Ford, have you seen this road? Is there any other funding out there that we could use to address this situation?
MDOT may have funding mechanism that you can apply for, ERBR, but like I said, they told us in the meeting we had last week that you can apply for roads, but they still focusing on bridges right now.
That's right.
I can look for whether there are any other funding ways out there, to see if there's something out there. Right now, it doesn't look like it. But that's just where we are right now. Usually, raise grant rolls around, you can apply for through that, but that's about it right now. Usually on these roads, we use some sort of state aid funding or some emergency funding, different things like that, but they're just not open right now for roads.
And also, you know, on that note, I've looked around a lot of places, just like you said. I called MDOT. MDOT said they couldn't use any of their fundings for it because it has to be a state aid road or something like that. You know, I've checked every avenue, and it's another avenue that we can apply for this fund.
I guess to tag on to what you said earlier, you know, we put the $900,000 on Morgantown Road. Part of it's Ricky Gray's district, part of it's President Gaines'. And if you kind of divided that up, and they took 450, and they took 450, you took 450, and I took 450. I mean, that's kind of the way it seems like where this is kind of going here. I just don't know. I wish we could find another way to do that road actually, and it is a mess. My line is down to, I guess, the end of state maintenance is on South Palestine, I believe. So that portion's pretty good shape, but the other 6 miles, I don't know why anybody would use that for a cut across, because that's the roughest road you ever want to travel it. I don't know how to save you any time.
But,
Well, what's the pleasure of the board? Cause I don't want to correct it, we ain't gonna get into correcting it, Eric. What's the pleasure of the board? What's the pleasure of the board?
Well, I make a motion that we, use some ARPA funds.
It's been properly moved by, Supervisor Hutchins. Can I get a second? What's the price on it?
$458.
$458,000. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Supervisor Hutchins and second by Supervisor Milton to use $458,000 of the ARPA funds to do how much of South Palestine?
2.6 miles.
2.6 miles. All right, any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Piggyback on what Supervisor Wilson said about Morgantown Road, as you know that we are using opera funds for matching money that we receive from the federal government and also another grant. So we using that for matching funds, and we also added an additional almost $1 million for roads. And my question to the road manager, why you didn't submit this to us during the time when we was talking about the baddest roads in the county? We brought the baddest roads in the county, and why couldn't have been part of the $8 million that we got, still using additional money from the ARP? Because I don't have a problem fixing our bad road, but we all have bad roads. That's why we have a 4-year road plan. And when you go to breaking it down by supervisor district, that's not a unit system, that's a beat system. And we operate under the unit system. So, and I try to go by the 4-year road plan that you submit to us, not us going out doing it ourselves, because you have your guys out here doing it. That's the only problem I have with that.
Any more discussion? But I would like to say this, and I'm gonna just add to this, because I don't like to argue. The 900, I want you to make a correction, because I thought I heard something wrong, and maybe I'm wrong. The $924,000 are ARPA money that we approved. That wasn't just for 2 districts, that was for us to complete the entire road plan. Am I correct, for roads in all districts? Am I correct? Okay, thank you. Are you ready to vote? All those in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Gray, is nay. Motion carries. All right,
That's all I had.
next.
Before you get rid of with the road manager, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lowry,
Yes, sir.
I had a call from 15 Vaughn Drive. Could you get with her? She was talking about something in front of her house. I know, if I'm not mistaken, the road is in the city and the house is in the county. So get with her and find out something about a culvert or whatever the case may be. And maybe you can get with the city and see we could assist them or whatever the case may be. But as far as I know, I thought the road was in the city and the house was in the county. And could you get with the Public Works Department on 16 Oreo, and he got a problem where he might need some spoiled dirt, or maybe he might need an EWP project. I don't know, but could you get with him and check on that for me, please?
16 Oreo EWP or
Oreo
dirt,
Terrace,
and then
yeah.
15 Bone Drive, the house in the county, and the roads in the city.
One more.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
President, the area you say that the guy called you about,
I talked to him, that's, off, Kudzu Lane, Mr. James Alexander, he know, with, washing, where we cut the ditch to his property, so it's washing, down there. So I told him we'll get with him either today or tomorrow, so if we get possibly, chance, Supervisor Gray, we can just send him, because I think he probably wanted to talk to one of us, but I know it's that area, but we'll check him out. All right, is that being all?
That's it.
Next.
Good morning, board. We'll start off with the SAP 019 OM. That's your striping on the project. We're set for bid opening on March 2023. And we'll be here, we're gonna do it at 10 o'clock a.m. March the 20th, that should be second board meeting in March.
And that's on what project?
The striping project, SAP 019 OM. March at 10 o'clock.
What roads are those? Is that?
We Cranfield, Liberty Road, and,
Okay. Duck Pond,
it goes to the,
North Palestine.
yes, ma'am, to Duck Pond. The two North Palestine segments, Cranfield and Liberty Road. All right. EWP Group 4, contract is substantially complete with the 6 sites. So now we're recommending payment in the amount of $174,526.92. There are a couple of punch list items included in that invoice, so but those will be addressed before the next board meeting. So we wanted to get that payment approved contingent on them getting done with their work. And we won't release a check until they've actually completed and we're satisfied.
You heard the request of the engineer. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins.
Second.
Been properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. We make the payment to the contractor in the sum of $174,000. What's the?
$526.92.
$526.92. In discussion.
Does that conclude all of those those groupings of EWPs from, was it 2021?
I just know Group 4, I'm not sure about.
Do you have any other EWPs outstanding?
No, those are the only one we were responsible for.
Are we finished with group 2 and 3? Jim?
I'll present group 2, I think, today.
Okay. We need to get together.
So I asked, and I got a question while we're talking about those guys, if you don't mind.
We're in the middle of
Okay, go ahead. I just want to, go ahead. You had mentioned the other day that when we turned in for reimbursements, we were talking about that on the job site, that we need to stay on top of it to make sure the county gets their money back as far as reimbursements. You said these reimbursements would have to be applied to JKS, and the reason being is because they signed a contract with the water, so AWPs.
And they've been doing the reimbursement up to this point, so I wouldn't know which reimbursement they're on, anything like that. So what happened is, we would just submit our invoices to them and everything, and then they will apply for the reimbursement.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll always give a look and get it from Jim.
I had spoken to Hayden already about it, but I just want to bring it to the board that he had mentioned that it was going through JKS to get our reimbursements, even though IMF was engineered on the project.
All right, thank you. All right, ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye, any opposed? Nays have same right. All right, next.
So along with that as well, each pay item, we hold retainage on their pay request. So with them being completed at the same time, it'll be time to release their retainage. So I would like to recommend their retainage in the amount of $31,243.81.
You heard the request of the engineer. Making a motion. Properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins and properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by you.
On what sites?
All 6 sites.
The retainage, please.
All this is all contingent on them completing the work like we had.
Completing everything they got on the punch list.
Right, yeah.
All right.
On the property, yeah, retainage fee for all 6 sites. Yeah. All right, ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have same right. All right, next.
All right, the annual maintenance ride for Adams County will be this Wednesday at 9 a.m. And phase 1 drawings are still being, for Morgantown Road, are still being reviewed by MDOT, LPA's division. And
We got the right-of-ways inspector coming in this week, Ricky and Warren. I think it will be
Yes, sir.
When they come,
Wednesday. They'll be there all day.
and once they do the inspection, what's the next step?
I'm not sure. I'll find out.
Do you know what the next step is?
That's all part of their review.
What I'm saying, once they come in and do the inspection,
And they review everything, they'll come back and say, okay, this is the next step, this is where we want to start it, as far as the project is concerned. That's this whole review process to find out where we're gonna actually start the project at.
because, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going around telling people with shovel ready. And boy, they got some hoops we gotta go through to try to get this done. And I just look across the river, they got some federal money. It seems like the next month, they finna start working. And we gotta jump all these hoops and go through all these hoops, and they got, I think, so many millions of dollars across the river. I sent it to you, Scott, and from what they saying, they finna go to work. And they've been on this project since 2005, and we just got this money a year ago, and we gotta go through all these hoops. So, stay in contact with MDOT, because I'm still gonna call anybody I can call to keep calling. If I know he don't want me to call, I'm gonna keep calling.
All right, and the last thing I have is, back in November, we talked about reprogramming Morgantown Road and I think McGee Road from your state aid and LPG fund. And so state aid still, to this, last I know, they have not received the 2 checks for reimbursement back to them in the amount of $5,280 for Morgantown and $4,000 for McGee Road.
They had not been paid,
They haven't been, so once they get that funds in, then those funds will officially be released back to you all.
But I guess that would be, Scott and Brandon, can y'all check that out for us? On that.
How long has that been in the system? How long, if we supposed to have been paid then? You have a date on an invoice?
Well, they don't say the invoice, they send an email saying, county put this back into the state treasury, put this project, there was no November.
November.
All right, and that, anything else?
Unless there's some questions for me.
Anybody have any questions? All right, that being done, we thank you.
Thank you.
Next departmental report.
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
That's good. I just wanted to inform everybody that the time clocks are pretty much live. You are able to go in and log in and look at time. I have sent that to you to your email with the instructions on how to do so. Also, I had a training last week with all the department heads, so they should be informed on how to operate and view and edit people's time. Was there any questions about that before?
Any questions?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. On the question I have, thank you for the hard work on the time class. My question is this. Especially around in this area right here, do we have camera footage to, when people leaving in and out of these buildings, do we have that?
In most areas, yes, but not all.
Well, could you find out the spots where we don't have cameras? Because when somebody decides they don't want to punch in, and the camera see them leaving and not coming back when they supposed to, then we'll have camera footage on them leaving the job, because the persons that don't want to punch in, they steal it, and we want to catch them. Thank you.
You're welcome. I definitely get to work on that. Was there any other questions?
Any other questions?
Did you review the time clock policy?
Yes. I reviewed the time clock policy. I don't have it with me, but I did see it was fit for approval. There may have to be some edits along the way, but definitely that is a really good time clock policy.
This is the same policy that we shared, a couple different times. So.
Yeah. All right.
Was there any, did you all see the time clock policy already?
This one right here.
Okay.
They looking over, we had
Seen
one.
it in the past.
We just been in the past, so we just, they got one of those people looking around. All right, is that being all? You have any more?
Yes, sir. It's not about time clock, but it's about my surgery. I'll be having surgery this upcoming Tuesday, and so I'll be out from this Friday until March the 6th possibly. I may be back sooner, but that's the latest I can be up until March 6th.
All right, Brandon, I know that my prayers will be with you, I'm pretty much sure the rest of the board. You know, we hope you have success to serve in a speedy recovery.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And that would be all for me.
All right. No question. All right.
Right.
Next, departmental report.
I ain't got anything. Good morning, board.
Good morning.
It's been 2 weeks since I saw you all. I want you all to know I've been down in Glencoe, Georgia at the Department of Homeland Security Leadership Academy. And that was a real eye-opening experience for me to be able to go through that academy. All throughout the United States and all of its territories, under 350 people have ever attended the academy. And I'm the first sheriff in the state of Mississippi to attend that academy, but I hope I'm not the last, because it was very eye-opening what they went through down there with the Valdez shooting, Las Vegas shooting, Breonna Taylor, the Dallas shooting. It was so much that I learned down there. And it just made me realize some things that let me know where we were at. We're in a pretty good place, but it also let me know where we need to be heading to. So glad to have that over with. Down to business. First thing I want to do is bring in all the first responders yesterday. Yesterday was a tough day in Adams County, and city, police, the Natchez Fire Department, the Adams County volunteers, the Adams County Sheriff's Office. When I tell you everybody worked together extremely well yesterday, from start to finish. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Robert, were you all out there too? Okay.
But I knew about it.
You knew about it. You know, it started that morning for the recovery of Mr. Nichols, and we're gonna keep that family up in prayer. And then it went on from there to Kingston, where he had a very bad head-on collision up there. You know, a lot of people 3 people had to be helicoptered out, people had to be cut out. It was just, but you've seen the first responders in action and that training, how it pays off. And then, of course, we're praying for the Asabach family who lost Dr. Nichols on last night in the fire last night. So it's been a tough night. It's been a tough day for Adams County, but.
Repeat that?
I mean, I'm sorry, did I say Asabach?
Say that it's about
Not Dr. Nichols, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Dr. Ruby Asabach. Thank you for correcting me. Not Dr. Nichols. Yeah. So, yeah. But like I say, it's been a long night, you know, and I really got to give it to those firefighters, the Natchez Fire Department and the county, because, you know, after all those incidents, they had to go back and re-up on oxygen, water, and everything everything they need to do. And by the time they was finishing one incident, they were right back out with another and another and another. So it was just, they just deserved that back yesterday for everybody. Just want to remind you all and invite you all out to the rodeo. We hadn't had a rodeo in the last couple of years due to COVID. April 28th, April 29th, we'll be out there ready to get going again. So I want to put that out there to you all as well. President Gaines, you have new hires for us?
Yes, I do.
All right. So I'll go through that.
Want me to call them out, you start calling.
I can call them out.
Yeah.
Have Anisha Collins. These are all going to be jail employees, and all the pay rates the same. Anisha Collins, Jamila Newborn, and she's going to be part-time though. She's going to be part-time.
Okay.
And Sherry C. Washington.
Okay. Got it.
What's the pay rate?
It's
$13.23.
all pay rates are the same. All 3 has been signed. You heard this gentleman Newborn, Sherry C. Washington, and Latasha Collins. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins, properly second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed, nays have the same rights. Motion carried. All right, Sheriff?
All right. I came to you all last meeting about the pay change for MDOT, for the litter officers. And so Scott asked me to make sure I got the letter in, and so we went back to the letter, and now I'm bringing it to the board again. Scott, you wanna add something on that?
Yeah, we met with the sheriff, actually met with Jackie since the sheriff was out of town. The state has authorized a raise, they give us money for trash pickup, and they've authorized a raise for $15 an hour. It's still within our reimbursement. They put a cap on what they'll pay, $50,000. This raise will not exceed it. So for one of the employees that he's asking to be, will get paid, reimbursed from the state. The second employee picks up the county roads trash, and so he's asking for a raise because does the same duties as the other person. The amounts.
Should be
Good. Let me read that.
okay.
Both amounts is $15 hourly, annual rate, $31,200 yearly.
Moving from $13.23 to $15.
The name is James Allred and Henry Williams. Correct?
These guys just don't pick up trash too. I just want y'all to know that.
So
when work need to be done, any kind of maintenance, this is who does all that. Like all that work that's been going over in the courthouse, these are the teams who do that. I know they get paid for picking up trash, but they are way more valuable than what their title is.
It would be an increase of $2,308.80.
Okay. All right, well, it's been covered. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins, properly second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion?
One discussion I have, Sheriff, you say they're getting paid by a grant.
One of them is.
One of them is. One of them been getting paid by the MDOT grant. I
The other
can't
one's
tell you
paid
how
by the
long.
county, the amount out of pocket that the sheriff is
Hey,
asking.
how long is the grant?
It's renewed every year.
It's been renewed for probably over 20 years now.
Okay, I'm just saying, because I don't want some of these grants, like, some of these individuals, before I got here, was under grants, and the grants went away, then the county tried to take on their responsibility for keeping them on board. I'm just asking how long the grant is.
Yes, sir.
MDOT happy to have these guys because they like their load. So, while we on trash though.
Carry that motion?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. All right. All right, Sheriff, move on.
Speaking while we on trash, I'm gonna give you the numbers, and the numbers are low, and it's because they had kept the judges transitioning. As y'all know, a lot of remodeling had went on, so we had to pull them off the roads for a minute. But this is your numbers. District 1, 12, District 2, 24 bags, District 3, 47 bags, District 4, 6 bags, District 5, 8 bags. It's low because it's been a lot of transition, a lot of moving people around in county offices, and not just the judges. There's been a lot of that, and again, those guys had to be pulled, but they back out on the streets now.
All right.
Excuse me, Supervisor James.
Yes, ma'am.
President Denton. While we're on trash, and this is gonna be one of my reports because, this was brought up in the neighborhood, in one of my neighborhood watch meetings about, trash, how much trash, you know, that we have all over the county. And I'm also getting emails about it also too. But I know we don't have a workforce program, but I know like the trustees, they only go on the roads, they cannot go into the neighborhoods. Am I correct?
No, we go in the
They
neighborhoods.
can't go into the neighborhoods?
Yeah, we go in the neighborhood. We try to work the main roads, but we do go into neighborhoods.
Okay.
We do.
Okay.
If
That's
you
what
request it, we go.
Okay, that's what I need to know, because I was gonna suggest if you all didn't, that we try to get a workforce program together with those who have fines with justice court
Well,
to
listen,
work off those fines.
I would rather that happen though. I'm telling you, you'll get a lot more trash picked up if you did that, and then people have a chance to work off those fines.
Exactly.
And just so y'all know, that your trash crews just won a MDOT Litter Award. I didn't bring it over here today because I didn't think about bringing the plaque, but they actually just won an award for the amount of trash that they picked up in Adams County. I think they have a plaque over there, so.
Okay. That's something we may need to look into.
That's good, but it's a bad thing that we got a award for having so much trash.
Hey, they try to motivate you already.
Exactly.
Well, you know better than most though. You know when people trash up a road, you can pick it up and the next day it's trash.
Just
right
right
back
back
up.
down.
So
That's
I
right.
agree with you on that, but these guys, they've been above par. You gotta look. You talk about out of 82 counties, they came home with a third place trophy. Right in Adams County, so says a lot about
Wrestling games, that's probably something we need to look at, see if we can work off some of these fines like that.
Yeah, all right, that definitely that would be a great idea.
I'm in 100% agreement with that. As you know, deputies have had a couple of accidents, and so Scott, I'll get you these paperwork. Chief Hill, I'll let you come up here and explain this part. If I'm not mistaken, one of the Durangos, you're gonna get 7,500 back on it, but I'll let you get it explain this part, since they were here and
Yeah, one of the Durangos, they paid it off. It was $29,316 with $1,000 deductible. Total insurance pay was $28,316. The payoff was $28,1273. And they sent a check to the county for $75,0327.
And then we sold a couple of vehicles too.
Yeah, we sold 4 vehicles on gov deals, and the total is $17,850.10 minus their fees, which is $1,338.76, which is they're going to end up cutting us a check for $16,511.34.
When he say us, he means the county.
The county.
So we're gonna make sure we get that to Ms. Brenda Lewis over there. Just wanted y'all to be aware of that, that's all. Thank you. That's it.
All right.
Yes. And the last thing I want to ask you all to do is follow up with the city on that meeting we had. We have sent everything that we need to send over to the city in reference to radios and all that. And we really need to follow back up on that, because I'm telling you, going down there to Georgia and seeing the after action reviews on what happened at some of the largest mass casualties in the world, you know, it kind of shakes you to your core when you realize, whoa, this is what happened with them, and they got all the help and resources in the world. But if your radios are inoperable and you can't talk to each other, I'm telling you, what I witnessed down there, I really wish you all could see it yourself. We need to make sure that we get on the same page, get those channels done. And truth be told, it's one thing that me and Chief Green have been talking about, we need to train together. And, you know, this country has been hit with floods, it has been hit with mass shootings all over the place. Now you got earthquakes coming. Now more than ever, we need to be training and operating at the same time. And Chief Green is definitely open to that, but I'm asking the board to revisit that and go ahead and help push this on forward.
Well, Sheriff, me and Vice President Wilson was there, and I think I was under the impression y'all gonna work it out, but if you can't get it worked out, I'm gonna talk to the board, but I'm gonna ask the board, would it be all right if we just have a complete public meeting? Because from the last meeting that we had, there was minor issues and they was gonna work them out. So if it's not taken care of, maybe we need to call the entire board of supervisors and the entire board of aldermen together and you know, see can we get it hashed
Well,
out.
I will. Chief Green has been great. Let me say that. Let me be very clear on that. She has been answering phone calls. She has been doing everything. I know she got her hands full. What I'm thinking more on is on the other side with the cameras.
Okay.
You know, Supervisor Gray just asked about them cameras, and those cameras are heavily on my mind.
Yes.
Because of what I just seen down here and how that thing came to play. And I'm gonna tell y'all, the stuff that you all have done with us in Adams County, you just don't know. When I went down there, we stacked up like this with those other agencies because of things that you have in place already. When I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the cameras, I'm talking about the GPSs, I'm talking about all the training that we have. So when we went down there, I can't tell you how happy I was to see where we at, but that's where we at. As sheriff office, we need everybody on the same page, though. You understand? Because when it hits the fan, that is not the time to be learning how to do this. That is not the time to be trying to figure out who's gonna stack up, how you're gonna enter this field. You know, that's the time to take care of business. And that's why all these drills that emergency management, Robert Bradford and his team does, definitely gonna get way more involved in that after what I've seen, because I realized, you know, hearing about it, talking about it, training about it is one thing, but seeing live time, you know, feed was looking at how those guys were responding. You know, it was tough to see that they couldn't even talk to each other, didn't know this team's coming in here, didn't know this team's coming in. People getting hurt and friendly, you know, friendly fire in different situations. That's why you need to be on that one core movement. I ain't saying everybody gotta be under one head. That's not what I'm saying. But when we train, we all need to be efficient in how we train, strategize, how we moving, and when we respond, we know what's gonna happen. We know that incident command is gonna be set up, and boom, we need to be ready for that. And that's the value in what we've seen down there was, we get to sit back and look at what happened and went wrong with them and learn from them. But it would fall on us in a bad way if we didn't take steps to prevent that from happening. That's all I'm saying. It was just out seeing that in real time now.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. We'll follow up on what Justice will take care of.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir, Supervisor Gray.
I just want to piggyback on what the sheriff said, and everybody knows when Katrina did what happened, and the whole game plan was to make it where everybody could talk to everybody, because when Katrina hit, there was a whole lot of people couldn't talk to nobody in New Orleans because everything was down. And once you get on different frequencies or what, don't want nobody to hear this and don't want nobody to hear that, that's a step backwards. We need to continue to try to move forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna tell you something. You take the Vegas shooting, you take the shooting, the bombing that happened in New York. You know what these guys showed us what happened? Is law enforcement came from all over the country. But they really wasn't useful because you couldn't talk to each other. You can be flooded with people and they can be in the way. You can be flooded with people and engage them at the wrong time and not realize they, you know, on your team or the ops. Because now criminals are sitting up just like us. These stores that I went in down there, that they took us on a tour where you can buy everything that I have on without any credentials. And that's what we're up against. So it behooves us to make sure that we are on the same page moving forward. That's all I'm saying. And nobody has did anything or said anything wrong. I'm not accusing anybody. I just don't want to fall to the wayside.
Sheriff, after that meeting we had 2 weeks ago, now, there's still a holdup on getting the radios, and do you mind telling me where it's at? Yes, you do.
It just needs to be signed, that's all.
Okay. And in whose court is it in right now?
It's in the city's court, that's all I'm saying. It's in the city's court and it just needs to be signed.
Okay.
I was over there, Chief Miller admitted it.
And also on the cameras, how many cameras does the county have? The city has some left to put out still, or is the county that has some to put out and those haven't been released to us?
Well, I have to look back at the paperwork, but Scott, I don't know if it was in that paperwork that you looked at a while back. I don't know off the top of my head, but it was like, I think it was what, $400,000 cameras?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't want to get a wrong number out, but it's a significant amount because the city was involved, county's involved, but the APD is involved, Concordia, and it's really gonna sew up this traffic and the outlets and the inlets for both communities.
What do you need to facilitate that?
the last time we talked, the mayor had his people checking on where that was at and who's doing what now. We need to hear back from them on, have you checked on that, and when can we go ahead and implement this, since we already have these people down here installing the project, know now. They already in town.
Do you know who's in charge of that project for the city?
It used to be a lady by the name of Abby, but James Johnston is the one who started it, but when the former chief came in office, some kind of way got moved from James to this new grant writer, and that's the last that I know of, and that was actually the last time I heard anything else about it, period.
Okay.
Period.
So I'll just try to find out who those people are.
That's what it's gonna be.
That'd be the simplest thing to me.
We need to.
We'll figure it out.
Only thing I'm gonna ask is when we come in the next meeting, let's have some in hand that where it's no, we gotta get back with you or anything like that. Let's go and get that done.
I'm not about kicking this can down the road and kicking down the road and kicking down the road. And that's what, this has been going on for a year.
And I'm telling y'all, I really wish y'all could see it, but seeing how everything went wrong and so many different situations with all those, man, I'm telling you, it was by far the best training I've ever been a part of, period, in my life. And like I say, only 350 people prior to this class going through that ever stepped foot in that academy. So it was truly a blessing for me, and we did bring back home to Adams County.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Next, departmental report.
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
On the Group 2 EWP projects, Camo's job, I'd like to present their payment estimate number 5 in the amount of $4,370. 4370 recommend payment for that.
You heard the request? Can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Middleton. Properly second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? Are ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried.
Okay, and also, moving forward on that, I'd like to present the final estimate on it, which will be estimate number 6, which would release the retainage, plus he's got some striping to do. We'd like to go ahead and put that in the motion for payment, but not release the check until we get notification that the striping is completed, right?
All right, so what's that amount?
And that amount would be $39,714.54. $39,714.54. I understand everything has been done on the job, punch list wise.
Which ones?
Tell
me.
This Group 2. This be on, this is Group 2, there's 2 of them on Cemetery Road, Churchill Road, and 2 of them on 84.
84 is not finished, Mr. Barlow. It's got a slide on the, this one on 84.
Yeah, well, if we could, then until we complete those punch list items along with the striping,
It's got a slide.
just have it in on the docket and just hold the check then.
It's been moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second? It's been seconded by Supervisor Hudson. Discussion.
How much of this money we gonna hold, or we just gonna make a motion to pay it pending whatever? Because we usually hold back so much until they finish the project.
It's supposed to be docketed, Ricky, so if it's not done by the next board meeting when you're approving the docket, Robbie will let us know and we won't approve that claim. That's why we did this process beforehand, in case something like that. We weren't instantly paying them and they still have the.
So is this the final payment?
Final payment?
The sixth payment will be, because that's releasing his retainage, but.
So I'm gonna ask again, before we pay the final payment, we need to make sure everything is how it's supposed to be, because once you pay these people that money, it's all over with. And I always thought we held back a certain amount just in case they didn't finish the project.
Well, if I could make a suggestion, I would just, on that pertains on the 6th estimate, I would just wait until you got a letter from the engineer from us stating that those items had been completed and all punch list items and other items had been completed before you release the check.
I like that better.
If you can get the letter in, then they can have them paid at the next meeting. If not, it'll have to wait until that letter gets in, approved, and then docket the meeting after that.
My own concern is making sure that they still have some money up here in case they have to go back and do what the road manager say, a slide or whatever. Okay, you pay them all their money, they ain't got no reason to go back.
I'm not saying to pay them, I'm saying that you approve payment pending these things, and then when it's docketed, then you don't let it approve unless they've done this.
I think everybody kind of saying the same thing. That's what's going around. So we're gonna move forward with the vote. All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? They had the same right.
And that's all I have unless the board has some questions.
All right. Any questions?
Mr. President, I'd like to get with Jim and help get our reimbursements in. Can I get with you with that?
I'll get with Hayden and, yeah, we can get that done, yeah.
We appreciate it.
But what kind of reimbursement you talking about?
Our EWP.
How much we got out there?
At least.
Got a good bit.
At least 700,000.
700,000.
Why are we not getting it?
We gotta submit a reimbursement. That's why I was asking with Jim and George that get together and we can make sure the reimbursement gets in.
What I understand, we were gonna do the reimbursement.
And I think so, but I guess after this group, if the rest of them's gonna go through IMS, he needs to learn how to do submit them, because he said they had started it. He didn't know what had, and I guess he knows how, but I'm saying he didn't know which ones had been submitted that they've done and hadn't done. So I guess when this is finished, IMS.
How long would it take to submit the reimbursement statement or have that prepared, do you think?
Well, this, I really, I've lost touch with it going on now, but I know when I was doing it, each time I submitted an estimate for payment, I submitted a reimbursement at the same time. I did the reimbursements at the time I submitted an estimate, so. Sometimes they got lost in a shuffle or whatnot, and then NRCS, we combined it, but we got the reimbursement pretty regular, you know.
So we should be able to do it with the statements we've already done?
It's really kind of confusing now, but yeah, it can be done, yeah.
I need the sense of urgency, I'm not complaining to you at all, Jim, but I need a sense of urgency to get these reimbursements in, because we're in the hole pretty bad on that particular.
See, we were right, and we, so, in the past, we had that under control, because at one time, the board was way behind, but I know we started doing it monthly. So like I said, I was in touch with NRCS and did them each month. Each time I sent an estimate, I sent the reimbursement following right with it.
Yes.
Because the board had given me, gave me permission to sign the reimbursement. So I signed it and sent it in.
All right, well, Scott, and further notice, I think we're gonna move forward with it, but I'm kind of like Supervisor Gray. Well, I'm not kind of like, I'm identical with what he said. We don't have to put something in place that we spending money and paying everybody else. People coming asking for pay requests, we approve them, giving everybody else their money in a simple form that need to be filled out, and we $750,000 in the hole. I mean, not that the money is lost, but just late being applied for. So I think going forward, if we can't, we shouldn't be paying folks if they can't put the paperwork in necessary progress, so we should not be $750,000 behind anymore. That's just my feeling as board. If we gonna pay folks, and I believe in paying folks for what you do, don't want you to work for free. But at the same time, if we gonna submit payment for to pay you, the paperwork need to be submitted so we can get reimbursed. And that's going forward. That's not just pointing at you, Mr. Marlowe, because I know it's been a whole mix-up. This was kind of pointing to the board, so I want to make sure it's not pointing at you. It's going forward. All right? So, if there being all, anybody have any questions for Mr. Marlowe? All right, well, we thank you, Mr. Marlowe.
Thank you.
And we'll get into be seen.
And I will try to push that forward.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all wasn't going on.
I'll get to that bridge. So.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Departmental reports, any more reports? Yes, sir, Mr. Jones.
Good morning, board. I'm gonna be assisting the soil and water conservation. They're doing their annual tree sale on Friday, next Friday, on February the 17th from 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock. I help with that program also, but they'll be selling peach trees, apple trees, plum trees, and also oak pecan trees. That'll be from next Friday, February 17th, from 7 to 12 o'clock. At the it's gonna be on North Bay Road at the USDA building.
All right.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you. Departmental report. You got, Mr. Parker, you got executive session, or you got?
We will have, I have some stuff I can address directly to the board, but some I will need executive session.
All right, well, we can do that so we can, I'll move down to public comment.
Give me time to get up. He told me to take my time coming this morning. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I've had my second or third course this morning. It's been nice, though. I appreciate it. I just came representing the Natchez branch of the NAACP to thank you for the provisions made for your constituents at the last meeting. We really appreciate the fact that you worked with us, understood what we were submitting, and we were trying to follow the ARPA process of having community engagement and just, let you know what we could see, what people were talking to us about. And to hear you all follow through on it has really been heartwarming. So the next branch is gonna, we're just saying this today informally, but we are so appreciative for the people that you're gonna help. And with everything, I was listening this morning on the news, I'll make this quick because I know y'all tired. We don't know whether interest rates gonna go, we don't know what's going on, everything is going on with jobs or whatever. And people are losing jobs and they're having a hard time. And so what you have done will help people, and you'll see it on down the line. And I'm just thankful that you all had the forethought to go through and do this. And so we just wanted to thank you for helping the citizens of Adams County who needs it the most. Like we told y'all, this is a living document. We're continuing to work on it. We're working with Congressman Thompson now, and also your attorney, Mr. Slover. We're trying to get the right designation for the AmeriCorps project and trying to get one in here. We haven't forgotten about that. We're trying to work with that one. But we just wanted to let you know we're going to come back in an official manner. I didn't even get on the agenda. We're going to come back and get on the agenda because we're going to have a proclamation for you. Thank you so much for what you did. I know a lot of times people ask for stuff and then they fuss and everything. You never get the congratulations. You just get the fuss and that. But I'm saying thank you. And I'm saying for the Natchez branch of the NAACP and for the constituents you have. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you for coming. Any more comments from the table?
Yeah, it's somebody's turn.
Oh,
No, there needs to be turned up. It's
Frostbite on my
yeah, no.
Mine's too.
All
Sorry, you were hungry.
All right. Thank you. Any more departmental report? Public comment. All right, come to the table. Supervisor Gray.
First of all, I want to change my vote. I'm voting yea on whatever they did. Second of all, second of all, it was kind of rough this morning, and got this little cologne that I love to spray, and for some reason the bottle was full, and I tried to spray it and wouldn't spray it. I did spray it dead in my eyes. I couldn't even see for a minute. So that's why my eyes look like this, because I sprayed cologne in my eyes this morning. But I still can see. Thank God. We did attend the winter conference, and when we met that guy with that presentation, with a great presentation, but we also got an opportunity to listen to the lieutenant governor, the governor, and some people in some of these other offices, and they made a comment that really caught my attention, and we need to be real careful of. And they said that with this 911 money, correct me if I'm wrong, it only can be spent for 911. You can't spend it for nothing else. Now that's what they told us. Did I get that right?
Correct.
Okay. Moving right on, we got, I'm not gonna say we have a problem, but there's gonna be an increase in PERS. So during budget time, we're gonna have to figure out what that increase is, because that's for the employees, and we're gonna have to pay it ourselves. So it's gonna be a nice little amount that we're gonna have to pay during budget period for the increase that they got in PERS. And have anybody heard anything about the debris removal, about the money? Have we get an update on that?
Yes, I've got an item to be determined.
Item to be determined. That don't sound good.
It's pretty good.
Oh, okay. And then on my phone, somebody on this board had a birthday and say he turned 41 years old. I don't know about the 41 years old.
Okay, it's 61.
Supervisor
Somebody out there
had a
made that
birthday.
comment, yeah.
And happy belated birthday, 41-year-old.
Thank you.
And I just want to say this. She called you too, saying that the school district had a grant that they was applying for, and they need us some in-kind service that we already doing with the safe room, whatever case may be. Whenever it's available, I guess they're gonna use it, but they need the county to support it with in-kind service. I think dealing with the safe room, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, next, we have the scholarship. Don't forget, we got the scholarship, the elected official scholarship coming up, and here go my check. Could you pass it on around to the bank, please? And encourage everybody to pay their $100, and cause these kids look forward to receiving these scholarships. And next, this is Black History Month for some of us, but every month is Black History Month for me. And it's amazing, we have Black history right in here, right now. We have former Alderwoman Joyce Arsenault was the first Black elected woman to the board of aldermen, and our president right here is the first Black woman elected to the board of supervisors. That's correct?
That's correct.
Okay, that's history. And moving right along, I'm gonna skip on over and go on down, because this is kind of long, and people are leaving here, and I know we met the second meeting in January, but this list done got so long, and I'm just giving you an example. My sympathy goes out to the White, the Coolidge, the Noble, the Woodford, the Smith, the McNeely, the Letcher, the Owens, the King, the Johnson, and Michael Jackson was my classmate, to the Jackson family. And Henry Floyd Jr. played on the basketball team with me. And the McKnight family, the Proby, the Stewart, the Early, the Dunbar, the Green, the Clark, the White, the Thomas, the Martin. The Hendricks is what the sheriff was talking about, the young man that they found in the creek. and the Osaba family. I was shocked because I listened to that on the radio last night with the fire, but I had no idea that his Osaba was in that house and didn't make it. So my sympathy goes out to their family. The former supervisor, Ernest McKinley passed, and they will be funeralizing him in Bruce, Mississippi. And I'm praying for the individuals that had the head-on collision. When I heard that, I'm like, man, I'm just glad that nobody passed in that. And last, we got a lot of stuff going on in this country. And if there's any time we need to pray, it's praying time right now, y'all, because my son lived in Memphis, and when he called me and kind of like told me what was going on, I'm like, man, I just hope you be safe. And like the sheriff say, training is everything. And one thing I can say about our department and the sheriff, he always come and asking for training, but when he came to us and asked us about sending his guys a way to get training where they could de-escalate stuff before it started happening, I think every department needs training in trying to de-escalate a situation before it get out of hand. And I think, well, I'm just gonna say this, Mr. Scott, I need you tonight at my neighborhood watch meeting because I'm hoping we have a crowd, but we don't never have no crowd on Morgantown Road and Supervisor games if you wanna come. And where we can explain to those people at the neighborhood watch where we at, where we trying to go and how we gonna get there, because they got some misinformation out there. And I want these people to get the heads on and the correct information from us and not the people that's putting out the wrong information. And that concludes my report.
What day is that?
Tonight.
What's your notice?
Hope you didn't have any dinner plans.
I will cancel all plans.
That's why he get the big bucks.
That's exactly right.
That's 6 o'clock.
That same place we went to last time?
No. Hold up, Supervisor, I apologize. It's not tonight, it's next month. You got a week notice.
Okay, I'll take care of striping from IMS. But again, it's Black History Month, and I was approached by WTYJ about an ad, if this board wanted to take out an ad for Black History Month, to run it once a month, one time. For the month of February would be $175, and to run it twice for the month of February would be $300 if this board wanted to take out an ad for Black History Month.
After hearing what's the pleasure of the board?
Let me first ask this question. Can we do that, Scott?
Yeah, if you're talking about the, about Adams County and the history that we have, and that's how you would show it, you'd be advertising our culture and our possibilities of what we can do, that kind of thing, falls under that advertising statute. We bring favorable notice to the county.
Are we gonna do it once or twice?
I mean, it's up to you. They came to you, what you think?
Come on, see what's wrong with doing it twice.
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Gray.
Second it.
It's been properly seconded by Supervisor Hutchins. Are there any discussion? Are you ready to vote? All in discussion.
We're gonna
Put some together.
tag Supervisor Hutchins for to get what they gonna say on the radio.
Okay. All right.
So if something's wrong with it, it's her fault.
It's her fault. There you go.
Wow.
All right. We're ready to vote. All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, the next thing, I talked about the fines and the community service. The next thing is, I went to, I think that was Friday, what's that? Yeah, Friday. Friday, they had the mental health graduation over at the safe room. They gave out certificates and pens to the ones that were CIT graduates. And that's what for Southwest Crisis Intervention Team. And it was a good ceremony, and I was just glad they finding ways to deal with mental health crisis and stuff like that. That was pretty good. It's a good graduation. Also, there's gonna be, for that Southwest Mental Health Complex, there'll be a grand opening, and it'll be February the 27th from 11 to 1 p.m. And it's gonna be located at 150 Jefferson Davis Boulevard. So that'll be something for.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
There's a law in place right now that's trying to require at least one person with CIT training per shift. In our sheriff's department, I don't know how many graduated, but we're trying to pack
We
it
had
in.
3.
They had 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean,
4, 5.
The buy-in from the local sheriff's office was really, really
Yeah,
good.
it was PD office.
Yeah. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
They're bust a curve on it.
Wow.
Okay.
Continue, Supervisor.
And that's all I have to do.
All right.
Before you move on, President, I want to say one thing I forgot. Is it okay with you, Supervisor?
I get it.
Okay, thank you. Saturday, the Miss Lou community was invited to a free shopping trip at the Natchez Community Center on Franklin Street, where all items were donated and given to the participants for free. This occasion was held by Dr. Calvin Miles, the founder of Seed of Change and Foundation LLC. I think that was awesome. And they say you can come in with, they'll give you a big bag and you can fill it up with new items for free. So that's a blessing for her to be able to do that for the community. Thank you.
Supervisor Mills.
Yeah, towards the end of last year, I was approached by Dr. Barnes about the possibility of there being some land owned by the county out near Colin. Their vocational program is trying to, or is going, has been approved to start a lineman training program at the Colin campus. So I briefly talked to Scott about it towards the end of last year, but this is moving forward, so we need to look. I've got a piece that I looked at on the map that I think may be usable, which would be due south of the main building, basically due west of the dorms. It's an opening if you look on the maps, and I'll be glad to take you out there and show it to you.
Could I say something before you finish? Robbie, is that the same land I was
The
telling
same
you
piece
about?
of property that we went and looked at, somebody to take too much, cut the timber to get it down to the dirt, but yeah, that's the same piece, so if the county would donate it to them, I'm just saying, whatever.
It's not
y'all
gonna
do.
take much for what they need.
Yeah.
Southwest EPA has offered to go up and set up 6 poles for them, so they're not needing a whole lot of, they just need some ground to set 6 poles in and do some line.
I don't have a problem with telling Colleen. What I'm asking you is, with the lumber and if we got dirt on it, because we buying dirt right now, right?
Correct, you're exactly right, and
So-
like I said, to do what we need to do to get our dirt, would have been a lot to cut the timber to move in, I walked it all, I went through and walked it all back when we did it. It would be a lot to do that, but the little area they're doing it to get the dirt, I mean, if they're gonna need a piece of area and y'all were gonna do it, I would like to get the dirt down to the level point they want it, if they're gonna do it, if y'all plan on doing it, but as far as clearing it all up would be a lot, Mr. Gray, you know what I'm saying? to
Well,
try
we
to
need
get
to
dirt.
look into it, and the only reason I'm saying is because we buying dirt from
Correct.
somebody right now. And we could cut the lumber, sell it, smooth it out, get the dirt, and we be getting our own dirt, we won't be buying dirt from nobody else. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Next thing I had on here was plans for their opening for our county administrator. Was that in your report, President Daniel?
That was just when we was gonna do it. We can take it.
No, I just didn't want to.
No, it's fine. It just, so basically, go ahead. I was just gonna, see what's the date that we can set for to do the interview. That's gonna be basically that's all. That leaving. What day y'all leaving for Washington?
Friday.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess everybody needs to go through them.
You got yours, Kevin?
You got your, you take yours?
Have they been narrowed down?
I mean, we have to
I
do
don't know,
that.
I thought it was, I was told that, somebody else is gonna narrow them down, because there was a lot of, no business being in there.
Position, I think they gonna hire.
What about Wednesday morning? We should have somebody in.
I can't do it Wednesday.
You can't do
No, I'm
Wednesday.
gonna be, dentist office at 8 o'clock till 12 o'clock.
Y'all on Friday to work.
This
Be back in
Friday.
a couple of months.
Unless we
That's
just,
15.
What's Thursday look like?
unless we do it the option Monday.
Plus what?
Unless
Thursday
we,
morning,
Yeah.
he said Thursday, I know they going out of town, so I mean, unless
we
we do it the
going
following Monday.
Friday.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes, we could do it Thursday early. I have something at 10. Unless we could do it around about 8.
You're not gonna have enough time to interview all these folks to.
When you got
It's
that?
not an interview, it's weeding them down to get to the interviews on.
When do y'all come back?
Yes.
Okay, 15. 16.
Could we schedule for the 16th?
That's what I
That's
said.
fine. That's fine.
We have.
That'll give everybody a chance
Yeah.
between now and Thursday to give their names, whittle it down to the list.
How many are we?
February 16th.
How many are we picking? Maybe 4, 3,
Y'all make sure, I'll say at least.
3.
narrow it down to 3, and by Thursday, we gonna be interviewing them? You said?
16th.
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
What time?
We said it
9
at
o'clock.
9:30. We said at
9 o'clock?
9:30.
9:30?
And at the
Okay.
airport being at 8:30.
That's 9:30 is good.
We done with that?
Yes, sir.
I spoke with Scott on Friday about the issues with a grant at the airport. Were you able to find anything on that yet?
Grant for the
The
airport?
$125,000 obstruction grant that's supposed to expire in March.
But communicated with Richard to go ahead and get quotes per tree. The reservation rights to cut the timber is not specific enough to give us coverage, and so we just need to go ahead and buy it, get it over with.
Okay. And the last item I had was for the sheriff, but he left, so I'll reach out to him. That's all I have.
All right.
About Wilson.
I think Robbie covered most of what I wanted, Nottaway Trail and Red Fox. And I want everybody to know that I know the roads are rough right now, a lot of potholes, and we'll catch them up as soon as we can, because this weather's been terrible.
4 crews on as we speak on potholes
They are
today. I
absolutely
rode
terrible.
yesterday afternoon about 3 hours.
But the rain's not helped, the ice that we had didn't help, so. One thing, we never took care of, as far as I know, is how we were gonna compensate Ms. Lewis for acting as the county administrator for the last,
We'll have 2 people to compensate.
and Scott.
No,
No,
I ain't
no,
talking about Scott, I'm talking about the young lady that's doing the, what she is, the comptroller now? Ain't she still doing both of them jobs?
Purchase clerk.
Shaquille.
Well,
Yeah.
she doing purchasing,
Well, I hadn't heard anybody say anything about it, and I thought, that was, anybody got any thoughts on that, or?
Yeah, we'll take 'em out to
Covered?
dinner.
Take them out to dinner. I don't think that's uncovered. But,
We need to find a way to compensate, Chucky and her. Because I think they're gonna have interviews tomorrow for purchasing, right?
Correct.
Okay. But,
okay, it's just something that I thought maybe it passed me by, and I didn't get the memo. But that's all I had. Thank you.
All right, Deputy Clerk Page Dean, do you have? Brandon Lewis.
Okay. Ms. Martin is out today, and she asked if I would present her 2 credit card reports for December to be spread across the minutes. That's for the procurement card and the travel card for December.
All right, you heard the request. Can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second? Been properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimous.
We have, of course, this does not affect the county at all. We just, since we're partnered with them, any modifications in the salaries for their employees, we have to have these amendments done and signed off on by the president of the board. And you just need to have approval for you to sign these and put them on the minutes, please.
You heard the request of the Chancellor Clerk. Can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Middleton. Been properly second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? There be none. All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimous.
I had this as a reminder in my folder. The signs that were going to be placed on the fence at the safe room, I believe, was it Johnny going to go out and check those to make sure that it was done before we release the payment? I'm not sure if anybody's talked with him about that. I guess I can follow up with you. Don't need me to. We had a request from Miss Shirley Frazier, and I guess this is a question for the board and for Scott. They have baskets for each county, and she was asking for payment or reimbursement for the items for the basket for their convention. Is that allowable?
For each county?
No, Adams County, so each county supposedly provides a basket for a giveaway at their conference, and she was asking for reimbursement for it and dropped this off at the office, but I don't know if that's legal or not.
What we used to do when I was with the city, we used to go down there to the visitor centers and they donate on that.
I will look into it and report back to the board.
Need to have the.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Just for clarification, when somebody wanna do something like that, come on the front end and ask, and not on the back end.
Absolutely correct. Most things you can't do on the back end, as you well know.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
We have the mule tracking report for the sheriff's office for January of 2023. Need to have that spread across the minutes, please.
You heard the request of the Chancellor Clerk. Can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Been properly second by Supervisor Middleton. Any discussion? Being are you ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. All right?
Need to have the December 2022 tax return settlement statement for the Chancery Clerk's office spread across the minutes, please.
You heard the request of the Chancellor Clerk. Can I get a motion? Been properly moved by Supervisor Middleton. Properly second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? There be no discussion. Are you ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried.
And the last item I have, the addendum and the certification of the president of the board for our temporary garbage service. I know it was approved at the last meeting, but we didn't have the certification and the addendum yet, so we need to have that spread across the minutes and approval for the president to sign that.
You heard the request of the Chancellor Clerk. Can I get a motion?
I thought we approved that last meeting. We approved that, didn't we? Have a very.
I can look and see. I just had it in the folder for this
I'm
one.
pretty much, yeah, for sure.
I'll check that. If not, we'll take it off.
If it didn't make it, the motion should be on the minutes. It should have been an attachment. If the attachment wasn't included, we can amend those minutes to include this.
So I'm in the middle of a motion, so what we need?
I can double check. That was for the 17th? Let's see.
All right, so I'm in the middle of a motion. So do we need to cancel the motion or we need to just move forward? Okay.
12th. Let's see.
It should be a finding on the 12th, and then the next meeting, we should make certification.
Yeah, the 12th, we approved extending the emergency garbage contract with New Code for 90 days, the cost of $19 per household.
The next meeting, there should be a certificate.
Okay, I'll double check that. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Supervisor Miller.
Yeah, I just forgot something I want to bring before the board. A couple of months, I've been looking at a grant application through the Mississippi Outdoor Stewardship Trust. The Outdoor Stewardship Trust grant provides access to public right-of-ways, public waters for recreational purposes. Years ago, I believe when Ms. Mathis and Supervisor Gray were with the city, there was a big push for developing lakes along St. Catherine Creek for recreational use. There was a big group that put that together. My thoughts on this is I would like to apply for a grant. I spoke with Robbie about it early this morning and try to get the back end of Providence Park where the road goes down to the creek. I would like to get a grant or apply for a grant to create a boat ramp down there. When I mean boat ramp, I mean a ramp for kayak use, for recreational use only, for people in our county to have access to St. Catherine Creek to go in and kayak when the water's high enough. I don't know the details on what this will take. I don't know. I'm going to have to get with Mr. Ford. My thoughts are if there's any type of match that we would go through the road department and do an in-kind match, clear up down there, level it out, get it ready for parking, get the road graded, and I would hope in the grant that we would apply for, we would get them to provide the rock and all, but I just want to bring that before the board before I applied for it. I think it'd be a great recreational asset for our community and could open up, this is a trust, this trust is going to put millions of dollars out every year from now on out, and I hope it would be something that we could grow upstream to create that recreational benefit for our citizens.
All right, so Supervisor Milton, who you want to get Southwest to apply for?
Yeah, I spoke with one of them already.
You did?
I got them to look into it.
Yeah.
And it's really, they called, I talked to Alan at Southwest, and he called up there and talked to them, and they were very excited about it, being that it is access to public waters, which is really what they're looking for.
So I think you can bring him in because he was supposed to come. I got him looking for, supposed to be applying for a grant for me also.
The CDC.
Yeah, CB.
But I just want to bring it forward to the board, and you know, a dollar amount match would obviously help on your grading, but I think an in-kind match would be just as beneficial. It would be better off with us.
All right.
May I ask a question? Since you brought up,
I'm going
may I ask a question?
to. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Did you get the study? The study should be out at the engineering. I mean, it was thick. They have done a lot of work on it, and that might help you.
Yes, ma'am. I actually picked it up from Mayor Byrne over the weekend, so I looked at it.
I just want to make sure you got it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Is that a motion?
No,
You don't need one, you're just gonna be bringing it to our attention?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. Trying to discuss.
Yeah, there's 2 Senate bills to name county bridges that are located in the county. I have asked Jim if he could pull these bridges and confirm whose district that they're in and confirm their location on it. But I'd asked the board to get a resolution approving these bridge namings pending, of course, we know where those bridges are located so we can identify them.
All right. You heard the request of the board attorney. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson.
Second.
Properly second by Supervisor Miller. Any discussion?
Yeah, discussion is, when he get approval from Jim, where those bridges are located, as long as it's not Deerfield Bridge. So, I'm gonna make sure it's not Deerfield Bridge.
This question go to, Scott, you trying to get a bridge name after you, man? I'll get
I've
you.
always wanted that, you know.
All right.
They usually means you're dead.
All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried now.
When Ricky finally throws me off a bridge, name that bridge after me, please.
No.
We got. We'll make sure.
Go ahead,
We'll make sure. That's what I brought to your attention. We had a lease purchase We received bids from Home Bank and Delta, and Delta was the lowest and best bid. This is for several different equipment. Do you want me to read the equipment off, or approve the lease purchase of this?
Total amount and rate, please.
$367,120.42. It's at 4.75%.
That was the lowest bid?
7% was the other one. 7.5.
That's where we're all.
So what we trying to do, Mr. President, what we trying to do?
The board has previously approved the purchase of some equipment. This is the financing to acquire that equipment.
Okay.
All right, you heard the request of the attorney. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? And are we ready to vote? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimously.
Last meeting, you asked me to adjust our travel policy so that it includes people hold offices to a county association. There was a motion by the board to approve that. The language that I put in there is an email that should have been spread to y'all. I just want to make sure you're aware of it. If it doesn't adequately reflect what you had in mind, let me know. We can amend that. I just wanted your attention on that. And then I got a couple of items to be determined.
All right. You got it?
That's it.
All right.
For now.
I'm trying to figure out about this sign right here. I can go ahead. So I'm trying to get this invoice paid. It was in my folder also. So right now I got a new hire for Adams County Youth Court. Christopher Scott, hourly rate $15.86, annual rate $33,000. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins. Can I get a second?
Second.
Properly second by Supervisor Grant. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. All right, what's the deal with that payment right here that we looking at? The payment right there, what you sign?
Oh, I was just talking to Corvette. She's gonna request a PO be done, and then at that point, once the PO is issued, then that'll give them permission to go ahead and install it, and then we'll have the payment ready for them. So.
Okay, so we can move forward
Yep.
with that. Natchez Leadership, Division of the Chamber, Natchez Adams Chamber of Commerce. We got a leadership application for the class of 2023. It's tuition is $700, so we need to select an employee for Natchez Leadership.
When is it due?
It does not have a date.
Does it have to be an employee? It does have to be an employee.
It's a reason something we've offered for.
Reason I'm asking, Mr. President, when is it due? I don't want to select an employee and then the employee say, well, I don't want to do that.
Well, it's not. We probably just got the number on it, don't have a date.
This says that the sessions start Tuesday, February 28th.
Well,
Select that today.
We got another meeting before.
We got another meeting before then, yeah, we do.
February for the 28th.
We can send out an email to the department heads if anyone's interested.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that'll be, also. All right, and, we got, get this ad promotion, premium, position and limited reserve, your reservation today, legends and legacies. Prices and ad size. So this is, deadlines, double truck, $2,800, back cover $1,900, inside cover $1,500, full page $1,200, half vertical $749, half horizontal $749, third page, third of a page $549, quarter of a page $499, eighth of a page $349, and a business spotlight $100 to $150.
And what is that?
This is Legends and Legacies.
If I may, that's our annual profile edition at the Natchez Democrat.
Okay.
Where we begin in October writing stories, and it's on our history and people who have left legacies and have been legends in our community.
All right. So, guess what we need to do? Look at it and if we take it under advisement and look if that's the pleasure of the board.
In the past, I think you all we've had a photo of all of the supervisors together and just list the wards that you represent and some of the things that you all have accomplished.
All right. Yes, you can.
It should have been in the budget if we did it last year.
Huh?
We do this.
We did it.
It should have been in the budget. if we
Yeah.
did it last year.
Should be there.
You know what we normally do?
That's what I was going
Full
to.
page.
Full page?
You said at $50?
Okay. Are you sure? Let's check that.
Now, I'm not
Whatever
sure
we did last year.
exactly what you did last year,
It was good like last year.
but I know in the past you've done a full page.
Yeah.
When is the deadline on here?
I think it was February the 5th.
February the 6th, today.
Okay, we can't put that down the road. Does anybody know what we've done in the past? That I know that what the money amount was.
Just $1,300 almost, $1,299. So let's check this, whatever we did last year, we'll do this year. Let's check it out. That's a motion.
All right. So if we didn't do it last year, so
We didn't do it last year.
if we'll do it to the last one we did, then we'll do that. So that's we have a motion by Supervisor Hutchins to check and do whatever we did previously. Can I get a second?
Oh,
No,
I
you
made a
made
motion.
Can't make a second. It's been seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion?
It's saying,
1,200.
it's $1,300,
What she thinks we
$1,299.
did.
You see something?
Any discussion? That's discussion.
What is it?
I'm looking for it.
They got it. All right.
Sorry. You cast a motion on the report.
All right. So he's looking we'll do the same as we did previously. All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimous. All right. So the sign would be there. All right, I like just a few things. We went to the conference, and the conference was pretty much interesting. And we always talking about, we trying to get jobs in. And from the lieutenant governor, I wrote down from the lieutenant governor, the governor, and the speaker of the house. And workforce development was one of the things on everybody's saying we need to train the workforce. And the other thing, we need shovel-ready projects to attract businesses in Adams County. So the governor said that he'll do 30 spots, that he'll have 30 spots shovel-ready. He like to keep at least 30 throughout each region in Mississippi, well, 30 as a whole. And so we do have commercial property and stuff like that. I would suggest we start looking at some of our property and start getting it shovel ready, because that's gonna be the first choices. And then we got together with the city and the county and the school board to create a workforce director. So, you know, for the last couple of years, everything has been workforce. We do not have a trained workforce, then you're not gonna get the job. So I would ask that we just kind of look at the things that we can do to help grow our workforce development center and get some of our projects shovel ready so we can attract some businesses to come. And so I wasn't aware of so much happened on yesterday. But you know, all I can say that all that is praying time for everything and everybody. Each week, if it ain't nobody in your family, somebody you know, people leaving, it's hell on every corner that you turn on. You know, it is simply time to pray. You know, and we as a community, we're not gonna get along, we're not gonna see everything eye to eye. But what I do say is the same thing. We have something in common that we can work on. And I would suggest that we can try to miss some of the things that we don't agree on and just let's man up and woman up and look at the things that we do have in common to work together on to help the community. And with that, I do want to say one other thing. Morgantown, I have been getting a lot of calls about Morgantown Road. A lot of people don't feel like it's gonna get done. And I think it's no doubt. I mean, I'll say this because I usually talk business and talk facts, but it's some misspread rumors that went around once before in our community about Morgantown Road. We had to bring before the board. And I think they're going around again about misspread rumors. But I want to tell everybody, every meeting, we are on top of that. But Morgantown Road is almost like, I'll say, labor pains for a family. When somebody get ready to have a baby, it's a long process. But when you go through that process, you're gonna enjoy the baby. Morgantown Road is gonna get done. And in the process, we're gonna have some distortion of traffic. Right now, we have paperwork that everybody got to go through the paperwork. And I know it seems like it's not gonna happen, but each one of these board members, not just me, not just Supervisor Gray, but we have heard it, and so we have worked hard together, and the money is gonna be put, the money is there, so as soon as the paperwork starts, we'll try to move Morgantown further. And I'll yield the floor behind that.
I wish it was as fast as the time that I had on my meetings coming. Because I didn't get a lot of notice.
Yeah.
President Gaines, you may want to mention that when we was at the conference, you did speak to MDOT about that Morgantown project, and he was telling you about some of the things that
I did. When I was at the conference, anybody I could speak to that got anything to do with Morgantown Road, I talked to them. And it's like, basically, like you said, it's a process, and it's paperwork. They are speeding Morgantown up as fast as they can, but they do have paperwork, and I understand there's policies in place. Because even right here, we have policies. So as long as they continue to work on policies, myself, Supervisor Gray, and his attorney, we're gonna stay in touch with them to make sure we can get Morgantown moved up as quick as possible. But I yield the floor behind that. And if that being all, anybody have anything to be determined? Anybody? Did you have something to say?
Fred Parker.
Well, Mr. Fred Parker, before we start,
Yeah.
did you? Did you have anything to say? Okay, I'm gonna get on the agenda. Okay, Mr. Parker.
Okay. I'm gonna hand these out real briefly before we go into this executive session there in order, if y'all don't mind.
Oh, so we're doing this in executive session?
Okay, I've got something that has to be addressed there because there's some actual employees involved. But I wanted to cover a couple things that are not. Of course, I have to learn all this from Attorney Slover because I don't know. What you're looking at in that envelope needs to be addressed at the beginning. Is this up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
It's not on.
A lot of background noise.
January 1st of 2023, Blue Cross and Page, I have one of these for you. I didn't have an envelope, but I have one of these. Couple of things to address in this. It's an enhanced language checklist for enhanced travel checklist for transplant patients. So for instance, if you needed a transplant, kidney, liver, heart, what this does is that it pays for travel and lodging for you and or a family member, because I don't know if any of you have known someone that had a transplant and gone through that ordeal, but it covers up to $10,000 per covered transplant episode of care. That's in total. You know, the transplant, if it takes 2 years for the treatment, etc., it will pay up to $10,000 in travel and lodging for you and whoever, a family member, because I can promise you that when you're getting a transplant, you can't drive when you're coming back and forth. So the board can decline this if it so chooses. On Blue Cross's fully funded plans, it was just implemented, but since we're self-funded, it's the board's, it's up to the board's discretion as to whether to accept or decline that amended language to the contract. In the same document, we all know abortion laws have changed. And in this document, this states, and what Blue Cross is doing is adhering to state law with this language. Benefits will not be provided for elective abortions, including, however, not limited to the member's request for payment of prescription, that's the abortion pill, exception upon proper documentation from the member's provider. Claims administrator may determine the elective abortion procedure was due to an instance of rape or was medically necessary in order to preserve the life or physical health of the mother unless otherwise prohibited by law. Now, the board can decline either or both of those. But rather than just let this fly in the wind, this just came through and I wanted the board to be aware of it. This will go into place unless you decline.
Well, Mr. Parker, as you've been representing us for insurance, what is your recommendation?
I would recommend we go ahead and accept these because the abortion language is to comply with state law and we have to do that. The transplant, I can tell you, as a percentage of a transplant cost, $10,000 is minuscule, but the relief it would give a family undergoing that process would be a lot more valuable than any $10,000.
All right.
Does that go into our reinsurance amount?
That is a great question. I do not know the answer.
No fees are on here at all, what any
No,
of
no,
this
no,
costs
that's
or
just-
costs, or is it just,
No, that's already built, that's built in.
both things are
So-
already built in?
It would be included in the language of the contract unless we decline it, and there's no additional fee to have it in there.
What's your president?
Yes, sir, Supervisor.
We're self-funded, so we'd be paying the claims. If it's a transplant, if reinsurance kicked in and they covered all that, then, probably would not cost us all that much because the reinsurance is probably gonna reach that threshold anyway unless they're expecting a transplant.
And again, they just don't write a $10,000 check to somebody. You have to provide, hey, we were at Tulane, we were at Eichner's, et cetera, and we stayed at these hotels, and it would have to be documented. But,
And they may write a check, but we end up paying the cost out of it, so that's.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir, Supervisor Gray.
Well, I'm like Supervisor Wilson, and my question is, right now it's not costing us money. But the next time we have to do this insurance, they're gonna bill a fee in then, right? Cause it's gonna go up.
It's self-insurance, so we will be, if someone has a transplant, we will, and Blue Cross Blue Shield will pay it, and then they deduct the money out of our account to cover it. So we will be paying this amount.
Oh, I understand that part, but what I'm saying is this, you know how they come in here every so often and say, well, it's a 5% increase and a so-and-so increase. They're giving us service and it ain't free. So it's gonna be an increase in what we paying them. If we pay them $56,000, it's gonna go up.
Absolutely.
well, Ricky, that's a valid point, of course, but I would say that in the grand scheme of things, $10,000 is literally a drop in the bucket. I would say that. Now, of course, it's up to this board to make that decision.
We got a time limit.
No,
So what we gonna do is just look over this and get back with you and we gonna, your recommendation is to accept, right?
I would think so, but, that's a personal opinion, because a transplant, if you have a liver transplant, in fact, 3 years ago, an employee of this board had a liver transplant, and I could go back and find out what those paid claims were. And so you could have something to say, okay, this is what a liver transplant actually costs, and compare it to, and, it could be, out of that $10,000, it could be $2,000 actually paid out, or $3,000. One doesn't know.
Mr. President, this is my last comment. At the end of the day, we dealing with this insurance, we try to do all we can to help our employees. We don't want to see them uncovered. If it's something that they could be covered for that they suggested to us, I'm not saying we're not gonna.
I understand.
We just want to look into it because we want them to have all the benefits that they can have.
I think it's a good deal, but we need to make sure our self-insurance kicks in on it as well.
Okay.
I mean, that's what the paper.
Let's see, let me grab them. There it is. A couple other items.
Say you had some others, you took, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I got it for everybody. Y'all forgive me, I've got a gimp leg. Messing around. Okay, another thing, I would like to ask the boards to vote. I have got the safe room held for March 1st and 2nd for open enrollment. And I'm in contact with Human Resources. And with the board's approval, we could hold the open enrollment for the April renewal at the safe room on March 1st and 2nd.
You good?
That's something we had to vote on?
No.
I thought we don't
I've talked about, he's also talked
We
about
don't
it.
have to vote on that, because it's a county, building, we don't need to vote. Y'all just set the dates out.
Okay. And Mr. Gray, hit the nail on the head. I'm here today and part of this discussion is about the renewal and a rate increase and, yeah, well, didn't get one last year, which was kind of nice, but, well, anyway.
Went up.
Oh, we did? Okay. Well, couple of things, also, the lasers, and again, we need to be in executive session, the lasers have dropped, and there's some things I need y'all to look at, and, let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, I think I've covered everything that I can cover.
All right.
And, oh.
All right, well, I need a motion for closed termination.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Milton, properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right.